You are listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Samuel Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow, delighted to be bringing tonight's action to you here from Walhalla High School for the contest between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Walhalla Razorbacks. These teams coming in with different levels of morale tonight, Ryan. Pendleton 3-3 after starting the season 1-3, picked up back-to-back wins after the bye over Carolina Academy and on the road last week against Travelers Rest to close out the non-region slate. Walhalla, on the other hand, still searching for its first win here tonight at home as we start, at least for the Bulldogs, a region play for Region 1 3A. The Bulldogs are the only team who have not played a region game so far. VHP and Crescent both at 1-0, West Oak and Walhalla each at 0-1.
Time to get off to a good start for the Pendleton Bulldogs here. What a great opportunity to do it here at Walhalla against a team that has struggled to begin the season. Definitely a great chance to get off to a 1-0 start in region play.
Absolutely. And Ryan, the last time that you joined me on a broadcast was, I believe, either 3 weeks, it would have been a month ago today, and that was for that contest in which Woodmont emerged victorious over our Bulldogs in Cunningham Stadium, 28-21 in overtime. Highlight of that game, though, was the 2-minute drill led by Dax Allen and the offense at the end of regulation to tie the game. What were some of your takeaways leaving the stadium that night?
Just remember the one thing that sticks out is we kind of noticed late in that game that the tight end was running some routes and running open, and it seemed like just as I saw that, the coaching staff saw it as well and hit the tight end for some really big plays to send them to overtime. Great ball game, really one that Woodmont seemed to control throughout the game, but Pendleton found a way to tie it up, run it into overtime, and that's just going to be a game that is kind of a program builder throughout the year.
Absolutely, and speaking of momentum, Bulldogs definitely trying to carry the momentum they built to close the non-region slate here tonight into the region slate. Diving in a little bit more into the matchup between Pendleton and Walhalla, this will be the 51st meeting all-time between the two programs. We're only separated by about 25 miles. Walhalla leads the all-time series 29-19 with 2 ties, but Pendleton is 8-4 in the last 12 meetings. You were with us last year for the Walhalla-Pendleton game. You remember the legendary performance by Walhalla running back Landon Robertson. In that game, he carried the ball 52 times for 305 yards and 3 touchdowns. So all 20 of the points were accounted for by Landon Robertson. And Walhalla was very one-dimensional in that game, only threw the ball for 24 total passing yards. So everyone in the entire stadium knew what was coming every time, Ryan, and still could not stop it.
I know the feeling. I went to the Seneca Daniel game a couple of weeks ago, and that's kind of the way it felt in the second half of that game. Everybody knew that Daniel was going to be running the ball up the middle. The Seneca couldn't do anything about it. So when you got that kind of a running attack, when you got an offensive line that's clicking, when you've got a running back that's that special like Robertson, it's hard to shut down even when you know it's coming.
Absolutely. And the good news tonight for the Bulldogs is Landon Robertson has graduated and is no longer a part of this Walhalla Razorbacks team. Last year, Walhalla 6-6 overall, 2-2 in Region 1 3A play. This year, it's been a different story. 0-6 to start the year this year. You have a first-year head coach in Blake Dyer still looking to get off the mat and get his first win. You have a brand-new roster, a new quarterback, new running back. Very small roster. We noticed during warm-ups only about 25 to 30 players suiting up tonight for the Razorbacks. They've lost this season to Landrum, Pickens, Chesney, Seneca, Liberty, and Crescent to start the season. Common opponent between the Bulldogs and the Razorbacks, Chesney. You might recall the Bulldogs fell at Chesney to open the season 35-21 on the road. I don't have the score in front of me, but I believe Chesney handled Walhalla much more handily. We're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. We're about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff as the Bulldogs are looking to start region play off strong. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin' Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili ice cream truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Sam Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow back with you from Walhalla High School as we continue the countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Guy's Pizza of Sandy Springs. We'd like to thank each and every one of our sponsors, all the ones that you just heard from, which include but are not limited to Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Empire Homes, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Black Tie of Anderson, Foothills Community Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, Absolute Law Firm, Ken Rowland State Farm, and Mac.Bid, of course, all under our title sponsor, which is Longhorn Steakhouse. While we were hearing from some of our sponsors, the coin toss occurred between the captains at midfield. Captains tonight for the home Walhalla Razorbacks, number 4, Romeo Mendez, number 8, Caleb Johnson, number 22, Essian Nathan, and number 62, Dennis Washer. For the Bulldogs, it was quarterback number 2, Dax Allen, number 5, Trent Garner, defensive end, who's being thrown back into the fold this week after a little bit of third quarter action last week in the win over Travelers Rest. Good to get Trent Garner back Looking forward to seeing how he wrecks the game defensively, as we've grown accustomed to seeing. Bray Spear, number 9, running back, also a captain. And finally, number 56, offensive lineman, Gaines Buchanan. Pendleton won the toss, elected to defer their choice to the second half, so Walhalla will be receiving the opening kickoff. And with that, Ryan, time for our uniform report, brought to you by Black Tie of Anderson.
Well, Walhalla comes out. They're wearing their all-purple uniforms, purple people eaters all the way down, purple helmets, jerseys, and pants, and an announcer's dream here with those crisp white numbers set against the purple uniforms. Pendleton Bulldogs are going to come out in their road white tops and gold pants. Looks like they have black numbers on those white tops. So the announcers up here ought to be able to see the numbers on both teams.
National anthem occurred at the beginning of the broadcast, and that was brought to you by Pendleton Historic Foundation. And now as Pendleton gets ready to take the field on the visiting sideline, we are set up in the press box, a very nice press box over here on the home side here at Walhalla, one of the best facilities for football in the upstate of South Carolina. And as we count down to kickoff, it is time to hear from Ryan and his keys to the game.
Well, I think I've got 2 keys for Pendleton tonight. Now, number 1, make sure that you don't overlook the opponent. You know, it's be very easy to look at the records, to look at the scores, to come in here maybe overconfident with the way you've been playing. And so because of that, I would say lock in, focus, get off to a quick start. Make sure that you execute well in this particular case on defense. And then the other key to the game for me is just to limit the big mistakes. I think Pendleton should be able to take care of business tonight, but you don't want to give anything away to Walhalla, being big penalties, big turnovers, anything like that. So limit those big mistakes, get off to a fast start, and I think good things are going to happen for the Bulldogs.
And just 2 turnovers last week for the Bulldogs, an interception in the first quarter thrown by Dax Allen, as well as a fumble in the third quarter on what was ruled a backwards pass, but what David and I thought at first would have been a forward pass. So did a nice job protecting the football last week, and Dax Allen was actually named co-offensive player of the week for the Anderson Area Touchdown Club, 238 passing yards, 90 rushing yards, and 6 touchdowns. Great recognition for the quarterback, Dax Allen, and we are set to get underway here at Walhalla High School. Kick is away. It's going to be fielded by Nick Butler on a couple of bounces, and a great job by the Pendleton kickoff unit to tackle him right at the 10-yard line on the far side of the field.
Yeah, anytime you can get the kick beyond those 2 guys that are waiting for it, get it to go almost all the way to the goal line but not go into the end zone, great start here for Pendleton, as the Razorbacks are going to be starting out deep in their own territory on about the 11-yard line.
They do mark it at the 11-yard line. Walhalla going from our right to left. 1st and 10 from the right hash. They got a quarterback in the shotgun. They hand it off on first down. Quarterback Caleb Johnson hands it to Esian Nathan. Nathan falls forward for a gain of a couple to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Sammy, we were talking about Trent Garner getting back into action. He was there on the tackle, very first play of the game.
Great to have Trent Garner back in the fold for this Pendleton defense. Last season, garnered all-region honors defensively. He's been out for about 4 games, so it's great to have his presence back. From back out in the shotgun are the Razorbacks. Caleb Johnson has 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. He'll hand it off again to Esian Nathan. This time, counter play off to the left side, and a great tackle from the safety position coming down was Jordan Mattress. We'll actually hear from Jordan as one of our senior spotlight interviews at halftime. Stay tuned for that. He makes a play on the second play from scrimmage in the game.
Yeah, Mattress covered a lot of territory there, coming from kind of back left of the field all the way to the right side in the flat to make that tackle. So he was covering ground out there.
We have 3rd down and 5 now from the left hash for the Razorbacks. This time faking the handoff is the quarterback, Johnson, and he'll fire across the middle. Incomplete. He was looking for Caden McCall. sophomore wide receiver over the middle. I think he would have been short of the first down regardless. The pass fell short, brings up 4th and 6. Walhalla will trot the punt team out. Bulldogs will have their first opportunity of possessing the football here tonight.
Yeah, we got Sam Jennings back to receive the punt from Dylan Cobb. Cobb takes the snap and gets a punt off.
High punt is going to bounce at the Pendleton 46-yard line. He'll check up right there and be downed at the 47.
Yeah, great punt there by Cobb. Nice job of kind of flipping the field, and even with that great punt, Pendleton is still going to have really nice field position, just a few yards outside of midfield. Great opportunity and a time for them to get off of that quick start we talked about.
Dax Allen and the offense will look to do just that. They come out in an empty formation. Brace Spear is lined up in the slot. We might see him motion into the backfield, but for now, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Jennings comes in motion right to left. They'll hand it to Jennings on a jet sweep action, and Jennings, trying to turn the corner, is wrestled down by a couple of Walhalla Razorback defenders, including number 4, who is one of our captains, Romeo Mendez.
Also in on that tackle was Alan Lanning, stuffing things nicely, making sure that Jennings didn't get too many yards on that one.
Loss of 1 on the play for Pendleton. 3 receivers to the right. Now Brace Spear motioning out of the backfield. They'll throw it to Spear on a swing pass. Spear catches it at the 45, crosses midfield to the opposite 45, finally shoved out of bounds at the Walhalla 44-yard line. So a nice second down play, gain of 10 yards on 2nd and 11 for Brace Spear. They'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Essie and Nathan on the tackle there, so we've already seen action from Nathan both in the backfield and in the defensive backfield.
And Brace Spear a little shaken up after the play, so as they tend to him, we'll hear from a couple of our sponsors. 9:49 to play here in the first quarter. No score between the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Sam Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow back with you here from Walhalla High School. No score between the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have a 3rd and 1 opportunity here early in the first quarter. Brace Spear dealing with some cramps. He's not on the field. Dax Allen going to take the snap in empty. He's going to keep it himself on a QB power off the left side of the offensive line. He has more than enough for the first down, crossing the 40 down to the Walhalla 38-yard line. Great job by Dax Allen to use his athleticism and his legs to move the chains.
Yeah, when you see a team come out an empty set on 3rd and 1, you have a pretty good idea it's going to be quarterback power.
Pendleton quick to the line, empty yet again. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Firing quickly over the middle to Sam Jennings, complete. Makes one guy miss, and then a flag comes in on the tackle. Might have been a face mask or a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, nice little shifty move there by Jennings. Made a quick move right after making the catch and was able to evade the first defender and pick up a few more yards.
It was a face mask against the Razorbacks, so that'll tack on some extra yardage. Won't be 15 because it'll be half the distance to the goal. They'll actually have 10 yards on the penalty. So 1st and 10 for Pendleton right outside the red zone at the Walhalla 21-yard line. 1st and 10. Dax Allen fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself right up the middle. A lot of daylight. He crosses the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Great run. A lot of green grass found by Dax Allen on the play, and that'll set up 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Quickly back to the line are the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the right, to the left, 1 to the right. Deshaun Jenkins, the running back into formation. Dax Allen's going to fake the handoff to Jenkins and take it himself, trucking a defender into the end zone for the touchdown. So the Bulldogs, in just 5 plays, drive 53 yards and take the lead on a 7-yard rushing touchdown by Dax Allen with 8:59 to play in the first quarter.
Nothing fancy on that drive, especially toward the end of the drive. It was just a matter of, let's see if you can stop Dax Allen, and, of course, the answer to that was no. So great job of getting off to that quick start that we talked about as Pendleton jumps out to a 6-0 lead and now tacks on the extra point to make it 7-0.
And takes the extra point for granted if you're the Pendleton Bulldogs. They've had some trouble over the past couple of weeks, missed 4 extra points last week, but good to see Brody Sprayberry bounce back and make the first one of the night to push the score to 7-0 Bulldogs.
Nice quick start. Nothing fancy, like I said, on that drive. Just executing the offense, taking what the defense gives you. And, quite honestly, Sam, if I'm the Pendleton offensive staff, I'm going to make sure that they can stop us running up the middle before I try to do anything fancy.
Absolutely. And Pendleton utilizing a lot of tempo on that drive, able to score in 5 plays, like I mentioned, but only 1 minute and 25 seconds coming off the clock. Pretty much a dream start if you're Pendleton. You get a 3-and-out defensively, and then a touchdown on your opening drive with relative ease.
Yeah, you can't draw it up any better. Want to just keep that momentum going. Really take this opportunity to just kind of bury them as quickly as you can if you're the Bulldogs.
Sprayberry's kickoff is away, this time fielded by Riker Dean at the 20-yard line. Going to get about 11 yards on the return before he's tackled at the 31-yard line. So a little bit better field position for Walhalla on its second drive of the game. Started their first drive from their own 11.
Luke Cahaly on the tackle there. Wrong roster there. That was Calhoun Mize, I believe, on the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Loaded backfield on first down for the Razorbacks, a tight end in the formation as well as Essian Nathan. Faking the handoff is Johnson. He's going to fire deep. He has a receiver behind the defense. It is caught by Aiden Patterson. He's tackled down, but not until he reaches the Pendleton 26-yard line. Bad miscommunication there by the back end of Pendleton's secondary. Aiden Patterson made him pay.
Well, that was the beginning of the play. The end of the play, you also had Jace Harrison Whitner who went up for the interception, but the ball got over his outstretched hands.
Razorbacks quickly to the line. Johnson fakes the handoff, looking to throw again, but he is sacked. Trent Garner and Fisher Sailors combined for the sack. It's going to be a loss of about 7 yards on the play, so a nice response after giving up the chunk play for this Pendleton Bulldog defense.
Yeah, that's a great way to come back from that big play. Not get down on yourself, but just get back to doing what you know you're supposed to do.
Looks like on this drive, Walhalla looking to take advantage of some holes in the back end of the Pendleton defense. We've seen some struggles defending the pass so far this season. Now second down and 16, an option play, speed option to the left. Pitching it to Essian Nathan was the quarterback, Caleb Johnson. A nice gain of about 7 yards, 6 or 7 yards on the play, but a flag did come in on the near sideline.
Yeah, and that's almost certainly going to be a hold. I saw it as it happened. It's going to be a hold out on that left perimeter. It's going to back the Razorbacks up on this one.
Holding indeed is the call from the white hat official.
One of those exterior receivers was trying to make room for the play to keep going, and he unfortunately got a nice little handful of jersey that their official caught.
They will spot the ball at the 35-yard line. I'll bring up second and a long way to go for these Razorbacks. Come out in the shotgun formation. Receiver motioning left to right. The bad snap just going to be fallen on by the running back, Essian Nathan. Another negative play back-to-back for the Razorbacks, and all of a sudden they find themselves facing third and a country mile.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as much a bad snap as it was an unexpected snap. I think the quarterback had turned his head, and before he knew it, the ball was hitting him in the chest, and he couldn't recover it. Unfortunately for Pendleton, the Razorbacks were able to jump on it.
Brings up third and a long way to go. Caleb Johnson drops back to pass, fires over the middle, Incomplete. Getting a hand on it there was number 3, Branson Wilson. Great job as Walhalla was looking to dissect the zone defense that Pendleton was employing. Intended receiver was Aiden Patterson, who had the big play on the first play of the drive.
Yeah, nice job by Wilson dropping into coverage there. That receiver was open, and it looked to me like the pass was going to be on target. It would have been a big play, but Wilson had dropped into coverage and was able to bat it down before it got to the receiver.
On the punt for the second time is Dylan Cobb. Pretty good punt. Is going to bounce at the 12-yard line and roll to the Pendleton sticks. I think they're actually going to say it was touched at 12. So Pendleton going to take over at its own 12-yard line with 7:19 to go. And a pretty good response by that Pendleton after giving up the chunk play on first down.
Yeah, it looked like Walhalla was going to be able to drive the ball a little bit, especially on that first big pass. But then, like you said, the defense kind of locked in and kept anything from going beyond that.
1st and 10, moving from our left to our right on the Bulldogs offense. They come out in that empty formation yet again on first down from the right hash. Allen takes a snap, fires a quick screen to the right side on the near sideline. Mellow mattress. But Walhalla doing a nice job. They're going to tackle him after they gain up 1 yard to bring up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, nice job by the safety coming up to make a play. Obviously, that was not a player that was accounted for in the blocking scheme, and he shut that play down.
3 receivers to the left this time, 1 to the right. Bray Spear back in the game at running back. Dax Allen's just going to hand it to Bray Spear right up the middle, but Walhalla does a really nice job limiting him to just a couple of yards on the play. Going to bring up 3rd and about 4 yards to go for this Pendleton offense.
I now am recalling my my fondness for Bray Spear during the game that I watched a month ago. He's a really hard runner, and he just is one of the keys to the Pendleton offense.
3rd down and 4 for Pendleton from the right hash. Coming in motion from the slot is the running back Spear. Got a whistle.
I think we're going to get an offensive false start. It looked to me like it might have been the center that forgot the snap count. He got a little slap on the shoulder pad from his lineman teammate.
The penalty is going to back Pendleton up 5 yards and bring up 3rd and 9 now from their own 13-yard line, so made 3rd down a little bit more difficult here. They'll come out in empty yet again, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Now coming in motion into the backfield is Spear. Allen takes a snap, drops back, looking to fire down the right sideline. A little bit of a duck, and it's going to fall short of the intended receiver, Mellow Mattress, and out of bounds. The Pendleton goes 3 and out on its second possession and will be forced to punt.
Yeah, if Dax could have put a little bit more air on that pass, Mellow Mattress did have his defender beaten, but the pass was just very underthrown, and Mattress didn't have an opportunity to work back to the ball at all. So this is going to be a 3 and out and a punt for the Bulldogs.
Sam Jennings on the punt for the Bulldogs. He has both feet in the end zone. And Coach Dyer is going to call a timeout for Walhalla prior to the punt. We'll take a quick break with him ahead of this 4th down and 9. Pendleton leading 7-0 on the road at Walhalla with 5:50 to play in the first quarter. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on Spirit Radio. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Kitten Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck. Back with you here from Walhalla High School. Punt team on for the Bulldogs. They go 3 and out on their second possession of the game. Sam Jennings on the punt. Back deep to receive for the Razorbacks is that is Luke Carnegie. Sam Jennings heels at the 1-yard line. He gets the punt away. Short line drive kick's going to go out of bounds. Shy of the 35-yard line. It's going to be marked at the 31-yard line. So very, very favorable position, field position to start out for Walhalla.
Yeah, it looked to me like Sam Jennings was trying to avoid the punt return to begin with, so he was kind of angled toward the sideline. I think then it came off the side of his foot and just didn't make much ground before it headed out of bounds.
To start the drive, Walhalla just 11 yards short of the red zone, looking to avoid the negative plays that set them behind the chains on their last drive. Johnson takes a snap, handed off to number 22, Nathan. Nathan looking to get the edge on the left side. Does momentarily, gains about 4 yards on the play before being shoved out of bounds.
Zach Collymore coming in for the tackle for the Bulldogs, making sure that Nathan was not able to turn the corner and make too much of that play.
Walhalla taking a lot more time on this drive between its plays, but they break the huddle quickly. One receiver to each side. They have a tight end in the formation with Nathan joining Johnson in the backfield. Johnson takes the handoff, fires it quickly complete to the tight end, Dylan Cobb. He has enough for a Razorback first down before being tackled right in front of the Walhalla sideline at the 17-yard line. So Walhalla into the red zone on offense for the first time tonight.
Nice little play design by the Razorbacks there as they cleared out the left side by sending the receivers out, and then Dylan Cobb kind of filled that empty space coming out of the backfield. Nice pickup for the Razorbacks.
Fresh set of chains. Walhalla on the left hash. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Tight end in the formation yet again. They'll hand it off to Nathan. Inside zone on first down, and Nathan has nothing. Loss of a yard on the play. Pendleton kind of gang tackling him behind the line of scrimmage.
Early indications, Sam, is that the Razorbacks are going to have to get their yardage through the air. It looks like the size advantage is pretty significant for Pendleton on the defensive line compared to the offensive line. But so far they've had some success through the air, so we'll see what happens.
Second down and 10 from the 17-yard line. Johnson takes a snap, throws quickly complete to number 3, Riker Dean. Dean tackled at the 10-yard line for a 7-yard gain. That'll bring up second and 3. Walhalla utilizing the quick game, pick up yards right there. Actually brings up third and 3, excuse me.
Yeah, nice timing there by the Razorbacks. A quick 2-3-step drop, put his foot in the ground and hit his receiver. That was a timing play. The throw was right where it needed to be. Nice execution by the Razorbacks there.
Third and 3 for Walhalla from the right hash at the 10-yard line. Same formation, this time the tight end to the left. They're going to hand it to Nathan, and Nathan is tackled for loss by Trent Garner. Blew up his block and was in the backfield. Solo tackle for loss there for Trent Garner. That's going to bring up 4th and 5.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody saying that they're going to have to get their yards in the air, and we see it again. I just don't think they're going to be able to run the ball with much consistency against this Pendleton line.
They've had some success throwing the ball so far, especially in those quick passes, or even if they have time to throw it deep. We've seen them connect on a couple so far.
Yeah, you would definitely expect them to have some kind of a quick route right here. They only need to pick up 5-6 yards. So if you're a DB or a linebacker, you got to make sure you're not giving much yardage away. They play impress man right here.
Razorbacks going to use the second of their 3 first-half timeouts with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break with them. Bulldogs leading the Razorbacks 7-0 here on the road at Walhalla. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
Sam Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow back with you from Razorbacks Field at Walhalla High School. Walhalla with their third offensive possession facing a 4th down and 6 here in Pendleton territory. Quarterback Caleb Johnson takes a snap, fakes the handoff, he'll bootleg out to his right, fires for the end zone, but it falls short of the intended receiver who was wide open in the end zone. Caden McCall kind of tried to slide feet first and get his arms up underneath it, but just not quite enough on the throw from Caleb Johnson. It's going to be a turnover on downs by the Razorbacks to end the drive.
Yeah, it looks like Caleb Johnson maybe had the opportunity to stop and plant his feet a little bit more than he did. Was throwing a little bit on the run and across his body. Of course, that turns out nicely for the Bulldogs as they start their new possession.
New drive starts on the Pendleton 13-yard line. Allen fires toward the boundary on first down, complete to Ty Miller. Not much real estate on that far sideline, though. No gain on the play as Miller hauls in his first pass of the night to bring up 2nd and 10.
It's quite interesting that we haven't seen much of the Dax Allen power running game since that first drive when it was so successful.
2nd down and 10. Allen takes a snap, hands it off right up the middle to Spear. Spear keeps his legs churning across the 15, and he is tackled at the 19-yard line, so a gain of 6 on 2nd down will bring up 3rd and 4.
Sam, you know that I'm not exactly the most observant in terms of forms and defenses and that kind of formations and defenses. I wonder if Walhalla is doing something different that shuts down that quarterback run.
Walhalla in cover 2 on 3rd down, and finding a hole is Sam Jennings. Dax Allen threw it quickly to him over the middle. He found a soft spot in the zone and spun around a would-be tackler before getting enough for the first down. Finally tackled at the 33-yard line. Nice play, both by the quarterback, Allen, and Jennings on the other end of it.
Yeah, that's a big play for the Bulldogs, not having to punt again and keep their drive going.
1st and 10 now from the 33-yard line. Handed out to Spear up the middle. Spear not much doing, but still able to gain about 4 yards on the play. Very patient running there from the bell cow. Spear usually likes to run people over. Showed off some patience there as he was waiting for his offensive line to create some running holes.
Looks to me like Pendleton is kind of going through the playbook, looking to see Walhalla's reaction to lots of different stuff.
Allen takes a snap on 2nd and 7. Going to be an outside zone play to Spear. Tries to turn the corner. He's going to be tackled at the 40-yard line. Kind of a shoestring tackle there as the helmet of Dylan Cobb, who made the tackle, comes off. So he will have to leave the field for a play. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs now from the 39. From the 40. Allen takes a snap, looking to throw. Rolls out to his right. Pump fakes again. Now fires for Ty Miller, complete across the 45-yard line. Miller able to show some razzle-dazzle and make it up to the 50 before he limps back to the huddle.
A really nice job there by Dax Allen, especially for a guy that hasn't been playing quarterback for very long. Walhalla came with kind of a double blitz. They were bringing the house on that one, but Dax didn't panic. He rolled out to his right, found a receiver, and made a nice pass for what turned out to be a first down.
That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Bulldogs driving to the 50-yard line. They lead 7-0 here over the Walhalla Razorbacks in the Bulldogs region opener. After a few messages from our sponsors, we'll have the second quarter of action for you right here. Stay tuned as you are listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on Spirit Radio. West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across. Back with you from Razorback Field at Walhalla High School. 1st and 10 for the Pendleton Bulldogs from the 50. Quickly getting the line, Dax Allen goes with the hard count and gets a couple of Walhalla defenders to jump off sides. That'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Razorbacks, and we'll set up a 1st and 5 now for the Bulldogs from the Walhalla 45-yard line.
That might be the quickest turnover I've ever seen from first quarter to second quarter. They gave enough time to flip the field, and they were right back to action as we get the second quarter of play opened up.
1st and 5 for Pendleton from the Walhalla 45 on the right hash. Allen takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Spear, fires on an RPO slant route to Mello Mattress, complete, and Mello has enough for the first down. Tackled at the 31-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play.
Yeah, nice throw there by Allen as he hit Mattress in stride. Just put the ball right where it needed to be for that first down pass.
Seen that RPO concept several times throughout the season for the Bulldogs. Allen doing a nice job deciding to throw it on the slant to Mattress on that play. 1st and 10. Allen looking to throw again. This time he's firing deep down the seam, and I think coming down with it is number 13, Landon McMillan, inside the 5-yard line. An amazing catch. There is a flag on the play. Hopefully that's defensive pass interference. Both teams kind of waiting for the call. It's offensive pass interference. That is not what the Bulldogs wanted there.
Well, there must have been just a slight push-off. We were watching that play live and had a pretty good eye on it. I didn't see anything that would have led to a flag, but it is the far side of the field, kind of all the way across from us.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. That'll bring up 1st and 20 for Pendleton from the Walhalla 41-yard line. And we've seen throughout this season that when Pendleton gets behind the chains, actually mark it back 15 yards. It'll be 1st and 25 from the Walhalla 46. And this Pendleton offense really is not built to sustain these drives that are set back by penalties. So we'll see how they do here on 1st and 25. Jennings in motion left to right. He'll get set in the slot on the right side. And Allen looking to throw. He has a receiver down the right side. It's Mello Mattress. Down the right sideline, he waltzes in for a Pendleton touchdown. One of the best throws of the year by Dax Allen. Dropped it right in the bucket where it needed to be, in stride for Mattress, who had a couple of steps on the defensive back and walked into the end zone untouched. 46-yard touchdown on the connection between Dax Allen and Mello Mattress.
Yeah, you mentioned it was a great pass, and that's exactly what it was. He hit him in stride. I don't know, maybe he heard you say that it was a duck on the last drive, and that one was not a duck. That was a beautiful flight for the ball right there.
It absolutely was. Brody Sprayberry on to attempt the extra point, and he does so successfully. So with 10:58 remaining in the second quarter, Pendleton doubles its lead. They lead 14-0, scoring touchdowns on 2 of its initial 3 drives. This drive spanning 7 plays and 87 yards.
Well, nice little comeback there for the Bulldogs. I'm sure it was a little frustrating to have so much success on the first drive, just kind of running it right down the throat of the Razorbacks and then not be able to do much on the next couple of drives. So I'm sure it was very encouraging, especially after getting backed up 1st and 25, and those are often drive killers when you get a big penalty like that and get that far behind the chains. But none of that mattered when Dax Allen found Mello Mattress striding down the right sideline and just hitting perfectly in stride for a 50-plus yard touchdown pass.
After what might have been a little bit of a frustrating first quarter for the Bulldogs just because of the 3-and-out on their second possession, maybe came into the game thinking they'd have bigger than a 7-0 lead after a quarter of play. They quickly respond with another touchdown drive capped off by a 46-yard touchdown. Now they'll kick it back to Walhalla. Sprayberry's kick is fielded by number 13, Nick Butler. He will return it. He returns it to the 31-yard line. So Walhalla will have it there to start their 4th drive of the game.
Like Bradley Runyon on the tackle there for the Bulldogs, showing that tackling form that I'm sure Papa Randall taught him back in the day.
Walhalla searching for answers offensively. They've really had trouble running the ball. They've connected on a couple of successful plays throwing the ball. You think they'd get back to that on this drive. Johnson, the shotgun, will hand it off to Nathan. Nathan actually has a crease running the ball off the right side. Makes a couple of would-be tacklers miss before being tackled just shy of the 40 at the 39-yard line. So the most successful rush attempt of the day for the Razorbacks. Good for a gain of 8 yards to bring up 2nd and 2.
What I'm seeing so far is whether it's pass or run, Walhalla is going to have to do things that develop very quickly. They're not going to be able to sustain long plays that take a long time to develop. That one got to the outside pretty quickly, and he found some success.
2nd down and 2 from the 39-yard line. Johnson hands it off to Nathan again. This time Nathan trying to navigate the left side. He's going to be stood up right near the line of game. It's going to depend on the spot here. I think they're going to mark him about half a yard short.
Yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to kind of take control of this game if they can make a tackle for loss right here, or at least keep them from getting a gain. I can't imagine that Walhalla would be willing to go for it this deep in their own territory. They're on about their own 41-yard line, not quite. And so great opportunity to seize control of this game.
Got a stoppage. I didn't see which team called timeout.
I think it was Walhalla. I'm not positive, but I think it was.
Nonetheless, we will take it with them. Actually, we'll use this time to hear from one of our sponsors, Empire Homes. Enjoy elevated living at Sunrise in Pendleton, just 2 miles from Pendleton High, starting in the mid-300s. Customize versatile 1- and 2-story home plans with luxury design selections in our 3,900-square-foot design studio. The pool amenity opens next year. There will be natural trails winding throughout towering hardwoods. Visit EmpireHomes.com to discover elevated living in the upstate. Actually going to give Walhalla the first down after some further discussion. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 41-yard line for Walhalla. Johnson takes a snap, fires quickly, complete on a screen to Aiden Patterson. Patterson gains about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but no blockers out in front of him. Pendleton doing a nice job containing him to just that.
Yeah, I'm very curious what happened on that re-spot of the ball that moved it from 3rd and half a yard to 1st down. I guess maybe there was some discrepancy between the two spotters on opposite sides of the field. Either way, Walhalla is moving the ball now, 2nd and 7 from their own 42. 2nd
and 7, Walhalla going from our left to right. They're on the right hash. Coming in motion is Riker Dean. It'll be blown dead, a false start against Walhalla. That'll set them behind the chains. Bring up a 2nd and 12.
But now Walhalla has lost all the yardage they were given during that timeout. Now they'll have about a 2nd and 13. This is one of those plays where if you want to keep this drive going, you got to get maybe 6 or 7 yards on this play to give yourself a chance on 3rd.
Walhalla breaks the huddle. 2 receivers to each side. Essie and Nathan in the backfield with the quarterback, Caleb Johnson. Nathan will motion out to the left before the snap. Firing it to Nathan. Coming up a bit short was Johnson. Falls incomplete. Dax Allen actually in coverage there, coming from his linebacker position, playing both sides tonight. And the flag does fly in. It'll be holding against the Razorbacks.
You mentioned Dax Allen playing both ways. There are quite a few guys playing on both sides tonight. Walhalla has a lot of guys that are pretty active on both sides of the ball. So I can imagine a lot of these players are going to be pretty tired by the end of the game tonight.
Coach Grayson Howell electing to decline the penalty, which will bring up 3rd down and 13. Actually, 3rd and 14. No, 3rd and 13 from the 38-yard line for Walhalla. Johnson looking to throw. Comeback route by number 14, Aiden Patterson. Not able to get back to the football. He wanted a flag. Doesn't get one. It falls incomplete. There is a flag in the backfield, however. They get him for roughing the passer?
I'm guessing that's going to be the call. Yeah, actually, I've never seen that particular demonstration, but I think it was roughing the passer that was called on the Bulldogs there. I don't think either one of us had eyes in the backfield to see what happened.
Unfortunate for the Razorback defense. Did a nice job getting the Razorbacks behind the chains. Unfortunately, the penalty is going to bring Walhalla into Pendleton territory at the 47-yard line. Johnson in the shotgun with Nathan. Takes the snap, hands it off to Nathan. Nathan, a quick burst off the left side. He's going to be stuffed after a gain of about a yard.
I'm really surprised that we're not seeing more of that quick passing game that was working so well a couple of drives ago. I guess all football coaches know they have to establish the run, and even if it's not working, you can't give up on it. So I'm sure that's the case for the Walhalla offensive staff.
And another factor may be, you just look at some of these scores that Walhalla has allowed, maybe trying to limit the possessions in this football game after giving up 67 last week to Crescent, give up 75 to Seneca earlier in the season. Second down screen pass attempt by Johnson looking for Patterson yet again, this time on the far sideline. But the two fail to connect yet again. It'll be incomplete and bring up a 3rd down and 9.
I think there are elements of this Walhalla offense that I think are going to flourish given some time. It seems like the players are not quite ready to do what the offense is designed to do, but I like some of the general looks that I'm seeing from the Razorbacks tonight.
Critical 3rd down and 9 for this Razorback offense. 7:20 remaining in the first half. Johnson drops back to pass. He's being pressured. He's taken down. He throws it away. There is a flag just a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage to hold against the Razorbacks, and so Bulldogs likely decline this penalty and take the result of the play, which was an incomplete pass. That is what Coach Grayson Howell decides to do. And so Walhalla will send the punt unit back out for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, we've seen Cobb already. He's got a pretty good leg. So I would expect this one to be pinned well within the well beyond the 20-yard line. Should be tough field position for the Bulldogs.
Jennings standing at the 11-yard line. This is actually a tough punt off the side of the foot by Cobb. They'll go out of bounds well short of the 20. Still waiting on the spot from the officials, and they will mark it at the 30-yard line. So good starting field position for the Bulldogs. Here with 7:10 remaining in the first half, leading 14-0. Allen in the offense. Actually, Jackson Allman coming into the game at quarterback for the first time since his injury against Keenan about a month and a half ago. Allman takes a snap. He's going to fire a screen pass complete to Landon McMillan on the far sideline. McMillan still going after a gain of 15 yards. Stiff arms the defender. Is finally brought down at the 48-yard line.
And I think Allman has completed every pass since he came back from his injury, Sam.
1 for 1, pretty good start. I wonder if that's why we saw Dax Allen on defense on that last possession for the Bulldogs. So a nice play on first down, connection between Allman and McMillan. Brings up 1st down and 10 from the right hash. Allman takes a snap, fires on an out route, complete to Mello Mattress. Mattress stays on his feet after the initial hit, is wrestled out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Walhalla. The 2 passes, 2 completions for Allman, his first game action Keenan game.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you can have that kind of confidence throwing the ball, so we'll see if he can continue that.
2nd down and 3 from the 45-yard line. Allman takes a snap, fakes the handoff, and fires quickly over the middle, complete to Sam Jennings. You can tell that this offense, while it was still performing well with Allen, you can tell that Allman is just a little bit more comfortable, especially in these RPO situations.
Yeah, it seems to make reads a little bit quicker and a little bit more confident in his throws, and we'll see if Grayson Howell can use that to his advantage and drive this team down the field.
New set of chains, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of Walhalla for Pendleton. Allman takes a snap, will hand it off to Spear. Spear trying to turn the corner on the right side, and he is denied and brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Nice job by the Razorbacks there after a couple of successful pass attempts not to fall asleep on the run. You would have thought maybe they would have a little bit more success when they snuck back that run in there, but Razorback defense did a good job of limiting Spear.
2nd and 10 from the 34. Heavy set for Pendleton. Ty Miller off the left side of the offensive line. This time Allman hands it off to Spear yet again, and Spear tackled for loss of about 3 yards. That's the most push we've seen this Walhalla Razorback defensive line generate so far in this game. They will bring the Bulldogs behind the chains, set up a 3rd and 13.
Sam, I think they're about in the area of the field where you can think about going for it on 4th down. They've got the ball on the 36-yard line, 37-yard line, 3rd and 12. I think Pendleton needs to look to pick up maybe 5 to 8 yards to give themselves a chance on 4th down.
3 receivers bunched up to the left side, 2 to the right. Allman takes a snap. He's pressured, fires to the check down, which was Spear. Spear able to catch it for a gain of about 3, but he's brought down, so no yards after the catch for Spear. To bring up 4th and 10, and decision time for Coach Howell. Looks like the initial implication is that the offense will stay out there.
Yeah, it looked like Sam Jennings was kind of making his way to the middle of the field. Of course, he's the punter, but then he came back out to the edge as a wide receiver. So they are going to go for it. It's a full 4th and 10 from the 35. Not much to lose here, but we'll see if they can make something happen.
4th down and 10. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Allman. In his first action since the Keenan game, he's going to fire down the near sideline. It's a little bit long for the intended receiver, Ty Miller, the tight end. Right inside the 5, going out of bounds. The turnover on downs this time for the Bulldogs. Going to give the Razorbacks the ball back at their own 34-yard line with 3:58 to play in the first half.
I think that was definitely a chance worth taking. You know, this area of the field, Walhalla hasn't done a phenomenal job of driving the ball, so why not take a chance and see if you can extend the chains, maybe punch in the end zone, get a 3-score lead, knowing that you still feel pretty good about your defense's ability to shut down this Walhalla offense.
Walhalla starts the drive at their own 34-yard line. They bring a receiver in motion, number 13, Nick Butler. The fire on a play action for number 13, Butler. And it's off his hands, incomplete. A really nice play design. It gave Butler the opportunity to come open for 1st down yardage, but he's not able to haul it in.
Yeah, that pass was maybe 3 or 4 inches higher than Cobb would have wanted. I mean, that Johnson would have wanted it to be. The receiver was able to get his hands on it, but it would have been a nice catch over his head.
Incomplete pass stops the clock with 3:54 remaining in the first half. Walhalla looking to get on the scoreboard before halftime. Johnson in the shotgun. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Nathan. Fires complete on a screen to Nick Butler, the receiver. Butler falls forward for 1st down yardage. He's marked down at the Walhalla 45-yard line to move the chains.
Butler is definitely one of the playmakers for this team. You can tell they try lots of different ways to get the ball into his hands. Moves very nice without the ball. That was a quick screen pass, and Butler just did about all the work himself.
1st down and 10 for the Razorbacks from the left hash. Johnson takes a snap, hands it off to Nathan. Actually, the handoff is fumbled. Looked like a Razorback fell on top of it. Right at the line of scrimmage. Nathan able to fall back on the football for no gain.
Well, what you saw there is that Jace Harrison Whitner came on a corner blitz from the far side of the field, came streaming in there, and he was able to get his hand on the hands of the running back just after the exchange. That's what knocked it out. Fortunately for the Razorbacks, they were able to fall on it, but nice play there by Jace Harrison Whitner, who covered a lot of ground to get into the backfield.
2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the half. Walhalla on second down, a double reverse, and now looking to pass is Aiden Patterson down the field and complete to number 10, Caden McCall. That pass was straight up in the air, almost like a punt. Pendleton arguing that the ball hit the ground, but the officials say completed catch at the Pendleton 21-yard line. It's amazing that McCall was able to get back to that football. There is a flag on the play, however.
I think I saw the official indicate that it was either an illegal forward pass or an illegal man downfield. I caught the end of it. I think that one was probably one of those ball don't lie moments, because I don't think that was a catch.
Definitely looked like McCall trapped it. But the penalty is going to negate it regardless and bring up second down and 15 for Walhalla from their own 40. The clock's still moving. 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first half. Walhalla taking its time. They don't want to give Pendleton's offense too much time with the football if they get it back. Johnson takes a snap on second down, fires quickly over the middle, complete. The tight end yet again, Dylan Cobb. Cobb will gain 5 on the play, actually 4, to the 44-yard line and bring up 3rd and 11.
Nice job by Bradley Runyon of coming up in coverage there. It looked like maybe it was some zone coverage. They were able to hit Dylan Cobb in open space, but Bradley Runyon came in there pretty quickly and shut things down where he didn't give up any extra yards.
Minute and 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Walhalla deliberate back to the line of scrimmage. Johnson takes a snap, rolls out to his right, looking to throw. He does, but it clanks off of the hands of his intended receiver, Caden McCall, as he slid to the ground right at the line to gain the first down, the Pendleton 45. So it brings up 4th and 10 from the same spot.
Yeah, pretty nice pass there by Caleb Johnson. Certainly one that McCall would admit that he needs to catch, especially when it's right there at the first down yard marker. Walhalla is going to send the punting unit on to the field, punt the ball back to the Bulldogs with 1:23 to play.
Cobb punts it away. This one of his better punts, like the first two, caught by Sam Jennings at the 19-yard line. A good job by the punt coverage unit of Walhalla, forcing him out of bounds, led by Nick Butler on the far sideline.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Pendleton must have been going for a punt block there, because you look up and there were about 6 different Razorbacks that were surrounding Sam Jennings. He had nowhere to go. He did a great job of just putting his head down and getting whatever he could, because there was no escape route on that one.
So minutes 13 remaining, all 3 timeouts. How aggressive are you here if you're Coach Howell?
Oh, I'm aggressive. I'm trying to learn more about my team and see if we have the ability to get down and score with 73 seconds on the board.
Jackson Allman in at quarterback for his second possession tonight. Allman on first down, rolls out to his right, finds a wide open Deshaun Jenkins. Jenkins down the far sideline, makes a couple of would-be tacklers miss from the Walhalla secondary. Finally shoved out of bounds inside the 45-yard line in Walhalla territory. That was a simple check-down route by Jenkins, and there was no one within 20 square yards of him on the play there, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback certainly did a great job of recognizing a blitz there. I'm seeing a pattern here for the Razorbacks that when they get into a spot where they feel like they need some help, they're sending a blitz lots of times, and he found that check down.
59 seconds remaining in the half. Allman takes the snap on first down, fires down the field looking for Jennings, but he overshoots his man. Jennings had a step on the defensive back there, number 11, Luke Carnegie. Allman a little too strong on the pass. Falls incomplete and brings up second down and 10 from the 42-yard line of Walhalla with 52 seconds remaining.
You know, that was a route that was very similar to the fourth and 10 attempt on the last drive, and it seemed to me like on both of those, you've got the quarterback, you've got Jackson Allman throwing a little bit more toward the pylon, and the receiver not quite getting there, so maybe they can get on the same page.
Two receivers to each side for Allman. Jenkins in at running back. Allman takes a snap, pressure in his face, fires complete to McMillan. McMillan sheds a tackle across the 30, stays on his feet across the 25 before finally tumbling down at the 23-yard line. Pendleton will use its first timeout with 45 seconds remaining here as they try to extend their lead to 3 scores here, already enjoying a 14-0 lead here in the first half on the road.
Nice little moves there by Landon McMillan. Isn't he the receiver that had the first big play on this drive? Was that also McMillan?
It was.
So both of those plays, you know, it was just a simple concept of getting the ball into his hands quickly, and he made some defenders miss, and so just about all the yardage that we've seen on this particular drive has been because of the hands and feet of Landon McMillan.
I got to give a shout-out to the wide receiver room as a whole so far in this game. Mello Mattress, Sam Jennings, and Landon McMillan also all three showing some savviness, especially after the catch so far in this one. We saw the route running ability by Mello on the 46-yard touchdown 2 drives ago. On this drive, it's been all Landon McMillan. Ready for 2nd down and 10 are the Bulldogs from the right hash. Taking the snap is Allman. There'll be a double reverse back to the quarterback, Allman. He fires for the end zone for Mello Mattress, and it clanks off of his chest. Incomplete. Pendleton had all day for that play to develop. Thankfully for Walhalla, their 2 defensive backs on the back end, numbers 11 and 14, Luke Carnegie and Aiden Patterson, they didn't have their eyes in the backfield, and they stayed with the receiver Mattress. So it's not like he was wide open, but a great throw right in the back of the end zone. I'm not sure Mattress would have been able to keep his feet in.
Yeah, I think that's a play where they could benefit from having 5 or 10 more yards of field to work with to let that play develop.
2nd and 10 now from the same spot, the 25-yard line. Allman takes the snap, flushed out to his left, looks downfield, doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to scamper out of bounds for a gain of 4 or 5 yards. They'll give him 4 to the 21-yard line. So it'll bring up 3rd and 6 with 30 seconds remaining at the 21.
Really smart play there by Allman, you know, making sure to get out of bounds, pick up the yards that you can, don't risk a further injury, don't risk getting caught inside the field of play and having to call one of your timeouts there. Great job of picking up what he could, leading them to a 3rd and 7 here, still giving them the opportunity to score.
3rd and 7 from the 21-yard line. 2 receivers to each side, and Jenkins in the backfield with Allman. Allman takes a snap, met with pressure. He's going to go down in the backfield. Dylan Cobb with the sack. Pendleton's going to be forced to use its 3rd and final timeout. Their 2nd timeout of the half before this 4th down and 12. Likely a shot down the field coming after the deliberation by Pendleton.
Yeah, not too dissimilar a spot from where they were on the 4th and 10 on the previous drive. So we've definitely seen some arm skill from Jackson Allman. So we know he can hit a receiver. So let's see what Grayson Howell and the offensive staff here for the Bulldogs can draw up. Can they find a way to pick up a 1st down? They do have a timeout remaining, so you don't have to go for everything. If you can make it beyond the 14-yard line, put it somewhere around the 10, maybe that gives you 1 or 2 more opportunities to punch it into the end zone beyond that. So definitely an interesting opportunity here. Jackson Allman coming back onto the field, leading this Pendleton offense. Let's see what they can cook up.
7th play of the drive coming up for the Bulldog offense. That's a big one. 4th down and 12 in Walhalla territory from the 25-yard line. Coming in motion right to left is the receiver, Sam Jennings. He'll settle down in the slot on the left side. Allman takes a snap, but blown dead for a false start coming in from the near side line judge.
Yeah, that's the receiver. That's Mattress here on the near side, trying to get a little quick start on the play. He just got a little bit too much of a head start on that one, so that's going to back the Bulldogs up. I doubt that changes much that they want to do. Just makes it a little bit more difficult.
Should make it a 4th and 17.
Yeah, now they're going to back it up.
20 seconds remaining, so not much risk involved in Pendleton going for this here, especially with where they are on the field. It's going to be 4th and 17 from the 31-yard line.
That was that interesting dead ball penalty that took 2 seconds off the clock.
Line to gain is the 14. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Allman. Allman steps up in the pocket, fires in between 2 receivers. It'll be incomplete. Not sure if he was looking for Jennings there or if he was looking to connect with the far side receiver. I believe that's McMillan.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it falls incomplete in between them, and it brings up a turnover on downs with 14 seconds remaining in the first half. So likely just a play or two away from halftime.
Yeah, your description of the pass is exactly what I was thinking. I really couldn't even figure out which one of those 2 receivers was the intended target. You had Sam Jennings that was kind of lobbying for a holding penalty against the Razorbacks, but to no avail. So one last hope for the Razorbacks.
Caleb Johnson's going to fire a quick screen out to the near sideline, complete to Aiden Patterson. He gets out of bounds with 11 seconds remaining. That play only took 3 seconds off the clock and gained 7 yards for the Razorbacks.
Didn't notice if Walhalla has a field goal kicker. I didn't see that happening in the warm-ups, but let's see what they intend to do here.
2nd down and 3, 10 seconds remaining. Firing is Johnson, completes yet again. Same guy, Aiden Patterson, making the catch at the 46-yard line. That's enough for the first down. Another play that takes just 4 seconds. So there's 7 seconds remaining in the first half.
It looks like they're either trying to figure out a way to get into field goal range, which I think is pretty far-fetched, or maybe just trying to get enough yardage down the field to have a Hail Mary at the end of the half.
7 seconds remaining. Razorbacks line up with 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and Nathan in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson going to roll out to his left. Johnson stepping up. He's just going to keep it himself, and he's hit. He falls forward over the middle. Walhalla seems to think they got a timeout in with 1 second remaining on the clock. The officials are going to talk about that. I think he has a conversation with the near side line judge about that. Pendleton, thinking the half is over, starts to head toward his locker room. Then they're going to be told there's 1 second remaining.
And they are going to give him the timeout. Like you said, Pendleton was about halfway to the locker room with most of their players. There were about 2 players left on the field. Now they're all making their way back. So Walhalla's going to have the ball at the Pendleton 48-yard line with 1 second to play. So I wonder if we're going to get some razzle-dazzle, or are we going to get... I'm not real sure that I've seen the kind of arm strength from Caleb Johnson to really go for a Hail Mary. So I think we're maybe going to be looking for a hook and lateral or something like that.
Yeah, I think you might see Aiden Patterson over the middle with something and maybe pitch it to Nick Butler or Luke Kanegi. Other skill position players out there, Riker Dean, number 10, Caden McCall. It's going to be interesting to see the approach by the Razorbacks. Bulldogs leading 14-0 with 1 second remaining in the first half, Walhalla has one play from the Pendleton 48-yard line. Johnson drops back to pass, and he's going to be sacked by Fisher Sailors, and that is going to bring us to halftime with the Bulldogs on top, 14-0. Ryan, your immediate takeaways from that first half?
Well, that was a half that was really hard to get a thumbnail on. I mean, to get a pulse on exactly what was happening. It looked early in the half like Pendleton was just going to have its way and be able to just kind of, bulldoze down the field. And then it looked like maybe Walhalla was going to find some success in the quick passing game and put some points on the board. And really neither one of those things happened. So in a game where it certainly looks like Pendleton is outmatching Walhalla, here we are. It's only a 2-score game. So really anything could happen here in this second half.
7 possessions for Walhalla, 5 possessions for Pendleton in that first half of action. Pendleton able to get into the end zone a couple times with a couple of drives ending in Walhalla territory, turnover on downs as well as a punt. That is what brings us to the 14-0 score we have at halftime, as Pendleton looking to advance past its 500 record so far this season. 3-3 in the non-region slate, looking to start the region slate 1-0 with a road victory here tonight against the Razorbacks. And with that, it is time to hear from Matthew Cooper and Jordan Mattress in this week's edition of our Senior Spotlight interview series. So we're going to hear from Matthew Cooper. We also heard from last week. Hearing from him again, we're also going to hear a new one this week in Jordan Mattress. So it is time for the Senior Spotlight interview series as part of our halftime show brought to you by Rogers Petroleum Incorporated.
Sam Goodrow back with you in another feature of our Senior Spotlight interview series. Today we're visiting with senior wide receiver and long snapper Matthew Cooper. Matthew, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So first off, Matthew, how long have you been playing football?
Since 9th grade.
And has that all come at Pendleton?
Yes, sir.
So just to start off, just tell me a little bit about what it's meant to you to be part of this program for all 4 years.
It's meant a lot. I've really been able to grow as a person more and as an athlete. The coaches helped me a lot. Everyone's very nice. They're all supportive, and they just helped me grow as a player.
Absolutely, and obviously Coach Howell, as the head coach, gets a lot of the recognition and the praise, as he should. But who are some of the other assistant coaches that have really meant a lot to you throughout your journey?
There's 2. One is Coach Williams. He's helped me a lot, and Coach Leopard.
What have they helped you with?
Coach Leopard has helped me learn to play more defense and be more physical. And Coach Williams has helped me with a lot of route running, how to learn the plays, and that's about it. But they've helped me a lot.
That's awesome, man. Throughout this season, you guys have had some ups and downs, some exciting games. What's something that's stuck out in your mind so far about this season that's been a memory that you'll cherish for a long time?
So a memory that I've cherished is when I snapped the ball. I went straight down there and just got the tackle.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then also playing receiver, what's it been like with your quarterback Jackson Allman going down early on and then seeing Dax Allen step in at quarterback coming over from the defense?
It's been really tough, but Dax has been doing really well. He has made a lot of explosive plays, and he's been leading our offense really well.
Yeah, absolutely. As a senior, I'm sure you've made a lot of great friendships over the years with your teammates. Who are some of the guys that you would say you're closest to on the team?
Some of our offensive line, Mason Wilson, defensive line, Ethan Rexroth, another long snapper, Gavin Yeomans, and some wide receivers like Sam Jennings, Mellow Mattress, and yeah.
That's great. I like to ask all the guys I interview about this. What are some of the things you like to do on game day just to get yourself locked in, get your mind ready to play in a game each and every Friday night?
I like to watch a lot of highlights of people. I like to watch Kayvon Austin's highlights. I like to just zone in, lock in, and just get ready to play.
Absolutely. Is there any music you listen to? If so, like what kind of music do you listen to on game days?
A lot of like NBA YoungBoy, a lot of like rap music, just to get us locked in.
Yeah, for sure. And then outside of football, what are some of the things that you like to do in your free time?
I also play baseball for Pendleton, and I've learned a lot from that too, of how to be a better teammate, of how to work well with other people.
So what position do you play in baseball?
I am primarily outfielder, but I pitch and I can play third base.
What are some of your favorite memories from playing baseball, whether that be growing up or just for Pendleton these last 4 years?
Best memory was probably hitting the 2 home runs and probably hawking the one ball that I probably shouldn't have been able to, but I got to it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What are some of the skills you've learned in football or baseball that have translated to the other sport, if that makes sense?
Skills are probably, from what I've learned from football that's transferred to baseball, is probably working on breaking more, because when you're playing football, you got to, like, say if I'm running like a curl, I got to break down and do that. And in baseball, it's helped me a lot to, like, break and get the ball. And another one is probably when I play defense is hawking the ball down, and that really helps me with baseball. So,
are you a sports fan at all? Do you have any favorite teams?
For college, it's the Texas Longhorns, and for MLB, it's Rangers, and NFL, it's the Cowboys.
So you're going with all the Texas teams. How did that come to fruition?
Well, over the past few years, it's been really well because the Rangers won the World Series. Texas has made the playoffs, but the Cowboys, it's just rough.
Yeah, what was your reaction to Micah Parsons getting traded away from the Cowboys?
I mean, I really didn't like it because he was one of our best defensive players. Now we have, I know we just picked up a new guy from, can't remember his name or where he came from, but I know we just picked up a new guy.
Yeah, I think the defensive tackle from Green Bay is who y'all got back in the trade, so yeah. That's one of the guys. Also, with the Sunday night football game against the Packers ending in a tie, that's not something you see every day. What were your thoughts after that game?
I mean, it was a good game. It was 40-40, high-scoring game. Just, I don't think we played how we should have. I think we should have been more explosive on offense, and since we got George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, I think we should have been more explosive.
Just a couple more as we continue to visit with Matthew Cooper on the Senior Spotlight interview series. Matthew, do you know what your plans are after high school yet?
I'd like to go to college and long snap.
That's awesome. Do you have an idea as to what you'd like to study?
Electrical engineering.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Last one, is there anything that you'd like to be remembered for as you finish up your career as a Bulldog, just by the Bulldog fans? What's something that you'd like to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered as a great teammate, a leader, and just all-around good person. Absolutely.
All those qualities are things that we see throughout the Bulldog football program. That's going to wrap us up with senior football player Matthew Cooper. Matthew, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Sam Goodrow back with you on our Senior Spotlight interview series. Tonight we're visiting with number 15 safety Jordan Mattress. Jordan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
All right, Jordan, first off, just to get to know you a little bit, how long have you been playing football, man?
I've been playing football since freshman year. I just started whenever I got to high school.
So have you kind of grown up in Pendleton your whole life, or is this a somewhat new spot for you?
Nah, I grew up in Pendleton, went to Pendleton Elementary, went to Riverside and all of that. Came to the high school, grew up around everybody. That's where I'm from.
That's awesome, man. So just walk me through kind of your journey within the football program. Obviously, you said you started playing when you were a freshman. I assume you spent a little bit of time on JV and then worked your way up to varsity. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. Well, freshman year, I wasn't really the brightest, star. Didn't really know how to play the sport at all. Got injured. Didn't play much that season. Then had a little bit improvement my sophomore year and started that JV year. We had a great season. Almost went undefeated. We lost a good Daniel JV team by, I think, 1 point. Junior year was a little rough. Just struggles going on. This year it's been going great. The team, we're starting to get more on track. Our chemistry is getting a whole lot better. Defense has been doing great, stopping teams. Offense has been doing great, scoring lately. And I'm just really excited to see what the rest of the season looks like.
Yeah, so talk to me a little bit more about that. Obviously, you guys started 1-3 with just a couple of games that just didn't go your way. Like I think of the Woodmont game that went to overtime and just didn't end up going the way we wanted it to. But how have you guys been able to kind of flip the script with the wins against Carolina Academy and then the bye week just to get ready to turn things around and then following that up with a win at Travelers Rest?
Everybody on the team, we know that we were a whole lot better than the performance we showed against Woodmont. It wasn't our most crisp game. There's a lot of mistakes going on, a lot of just, missed opportunities. But we went from that bye week, came back, knew we had a pretty good shot to win against Carolina Academy, executed, and just kept it going against Travelers Rest. Didn't really, let the confidence we had going fade, and we don't plan to let it fade this week either.
Absolutely. And then this year, just as an individual, you've taken a huge step in both like your playing time and your production on the field. 29 total tackles through 6 games and 2 interceptions. What's been the key for you in your development as a football player to kind of take that step?
Listening to my coaches, I was a corner all 3 years before this year. And I was trying to be a little stubborn this summer, still wanting to play corner, but, it was in the best interest of the team. I switched to free safety, so I just kind of had to become more coachable and accept my role and, trying to help lead this defense the best I can.
So what's the key for you when you're obviously in the defensive backfield to get these interceptions? Are you looking at the quarterback's eyes? Are you just breaking on the ball when you see it thrown? Just kind of take me through how you've been able to get a couple interceptions this season.
We have a lot of great preparation here. We have film throughout the week. Our coaches do a great job breaking it down. We go over formations. We really know what's coming at us way before it actually happens. So it's just a matter of me paying attention to film, studying film, and making sure that I react to everything how I'm supposed to, because they put me in the right position to make the play. I just have to go make the play.
Absolutely. Who are some of the coaches that have been the biggest for you in your development other than Coach Howell?
You got Coach Wiles this year. Has been my DB coach this year. He's helped make the game a lot simpler for me. He's helped progress me a lot. He's had a lot of faith and confidence in me, and I think that's really boosted me as a player. And then you got Coach Leopard, Coach Johnson, our defensive coordinator. He's putting a lot more trust in me. And we've got some older coaches. Dante from last year, he just was a father figure on the team for a lot of us. I don't know. It's been a group effort from everybody. Everybody's great. It's a great coaching staff, and they really do care about the players, and I feel like everybody means well.
That's fantastic, man. And then just switching gears a little bit, do you have any pregame routines or just things you do before a game to get your mind right?
I'll definitely say, listening to music. I feel like everybody says listen to music, it locks you in. It just puts you in that mindset to go out and play. And then kind of just going to a corner myself whenever we warm up and kind of just thinking about how I feel like I should play that game, thinking about how everything's going on while we're warming up, just kind of put myself in a good headspace to, compete.
Absolutely. And what kind of artists do you like to listen to?
I'm pretty versatile. I feel like game days is more, rap, things of that nature, Rilo Rodriguez or Drake, people like that. But I listen to a little bit of everything. country, R&B, all that good stuff.
That's awesome, man. Who have been some of your closest friends on the team throughout your time with Pendleton?
Closest friends on the team, same guys I grew up with. You got Bray, running back, Corday on the O-line, D1, running back. It's a Mello, receivers, my cousin. We got a lot of great guys who I grew up with, been playing with them, recess, football, Rex, all that good stuff. And I don't know, it's just been the same group of guys, and I made a whole lot more friends, on the team along the way. We're all really close. It's not really anyone on the team who dislikes anyone. We're all just kind of in this together right now, just trying to, keep it as positive as we can. Matter of fact, we're currently at our quarterback's house having like a team communion type of thing. People in the pool, people chilling out in bonfires, eating s'mores and all that. It's just, I don't know. We're a close-knit team.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
Has it kind of clicked with you that, hey, we've been growing up with these same guys for all this time playing football, and now, has it clicked that you guys are seniors? What's that feeling like?
Nah, it's really hitting us because, you never know what happens after high school. Everyone is going to have their own path. You're going to have some guys go play ball in college, maybe another sport in college, or just, go find a trade, move away, maybe they stay at home. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet because there's people that you don't want to just, lose contact with over time just because you graduate. But this is kind of how the cookie crumbles whenever you grow up, I guess.
Absolutely. Last one for Jordan Mattress, senior number 15, plays safety. Jordan, how do you guys build on the momentum that you've created the last couple games and take that into the region slate for the next 4 games against Walhalla, West Oak, BHP, and Crescent?
Our focus is getting ramped up a whole lot right now. Our coaches are they're making sure that we're understanding the task at hand, that we have a shot to be, number 1 in region. We have a shot to go out and actually win some games that people may be surprised we win. And right now it's just about focus, about staying on track and trusting the plan and process and the game plan that our coaches are putting together and going out and executing it the best we can, being the most physical team out there, being the quickest team out there, keeping mistakes to an absolute minimum. Everything we can to win the game.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season unfolds. This has been a Senior Spotlight interview with Jordan Mattress. Jordan, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You have a great night.
Thank you so much both to Matthew Cooper and to Jordan Mattress for those great conversations as part of our Senior Spotlight interview series. 2 very well-spoken young men. As we wrap up the Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show, if you're just joining us, Pendleton jumped out to an early 7-0 lead after forcing a 3-and-out by Walhalla on the initial possession of the game. Then a 5-play, 53-yard drive capped off by Dax Allen with a 7-yard rushing touchdown, put the Bulldogs on top 7-0 with 8:59 remaining in the first quarter, which would be the score at the end of the first quarter. And just a few plays later, Dax threw a 46-yard touchdown to Mello Mattress, made the score 14-0. The defense has shut the Razorbacks out through a few possessions. Jackson Allman, who started the season as the quarterback, been inserted in relief of Dax Allen, who we've seen go over back to his natural position of Mike linebacker. So a lot of storylines to follow, Ryan, in that first half. And Pendleton will be receiving the opening kickoff here of this third quarter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Pendleton looks to do coming out of the locker room. Of course, the biggest thing is what's going to happen at quarterback. And then are they going to go back to a little bit more power running like they did on the first drive, or are they going to keep slinging the ball around like they did on the last couple of drives? So kind of a mystery to see what's going to happen as this second half unfolds.
Definitely going to be interesting to see. We'll see Walhalla's Dylan Cobb kick it away for the first time tonight. Back deep to return for the Bulldogs are Jace Harrison-Whitner, Sam Jennings. Their line up at the 5-yard line. Got a 5-2-2-2 formation for the kickoff team of Pendleton. Walhalla lining up as if they're going to kick it short or an onside kick of some sort. It'll be a pooch kick, caught at the 34-yard line. Tackled immediately is number 21, Mikey Harrison.
Yeah, it looks like Allman is coming back onto the field, so he will, in fact, continue to lead the offense during this second half. I don't know if Walhalla just doesn't trust their kickoff return coverage or if they really fear the returners there, but they look like they wanted nothing to do with a possible return there.
So 1st and 10 for Pendleton on the first drive of the third quarter, starting from their own 32-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the quarterback, Allman. Allman on the RPO looks going to fake the handoff and fire it over the middle of the field. So it comes up just short of Landon McMillan, the intended receiver. That brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that would have been a nice start to the drive there. Would have probably been a first down. But first play looks like maybe has answered my question that we're going to stick with that passing game.
2nd and 10, pistol formation this time for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Spear in the backfield. Jennings motions left to right. I believe it was an illegal shift. They don't call it. Brace Spear, well, they do call it. Brace Spear picks up about 9 on the play. Sam Jennings was very obviously moving forward at the time of the snap.
Well, Jennings, from what I heard in the locker room at halftime, he heard there were some CFL scouts here tonight. So he's trying out his hand at some CFL football, being able to motion forward during the pre-snap motion.
You got to do what you can when you've got the build that Sam Jennings does. Probably every bit of 5'9". Not going to impress any NFL scouts here tonight, so maybe opting for the CFL route.
Yeah, he was definitely not moving parallel with the line of scrimmage on that one.
So 5-yard penalty will back Pendleton up for a 2nd down and 15 play. Hard count might get Walhalla to jump here. We'll see if they call a false start or a neutral zone infraction.
It looks to me like Pendleton's going to get those 5 yards back. Looks like maybe they're going to vote on head referee.
You have false start or neutral zone infraction, and they're going to vote and see majority's going to rule here, as I think the first 2 officials they got together to talk about it had differing calls. They're going to call neutral zone infraction, causing the offensive line to jump. Pendleton gets those yards right back. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I don't like the early pace of the second half. I like the pace of the first half a little bit better.
At least the clock's still moving. We've had a couple games this season where it seemed like the clock stopped after every play. 2nd down and 10 for Pendleton, moving from our left to right, and they might have gotten Walhalla to jump again.
Yeah, running a little bit of hard count, a little bit of delayed snap. You know, that's one way to move the ball down the field. It's not a very exciting way to move the ball down the field, but it is a pretty consistent way of doing it.
2nd and 5. Clock will start yet again. We're already a minute into this third quarter, and Pendleton's only run 1 play. 25 on the play clock, and Pendleton loving to use as much of that as they can. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Allman. He takes a snap, fakes the handoff up the middle to Spear, fires quickly complete over the middle to Sam Jennings. He has enough for the first down at the Pendleton 44-yard line.
And Jennings doing his best Hunter Renfro impression right there, trying to get some yards after the catch. Nothing fancy there, just to go down, get 5 or 6 yards, turn around, quick hit there.
Pendleton back to the line of scrimmage. Ty Miller in the formation at tight end. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Spear still in the backfield to the right of the quarterback, Allman. Pendleton letting the play clock bleed down to 5 before taking the snap. They'll hand it off to Spear on first down. Spear untouched in the backfield. Finally, the Walhalla players get their hands on it, but not until it reaches the line to gain and into Walhalla territory at the 43-yard line. Good run by Brace Spear.
Yeah, nice blocking there by the left side of the line of scrimmage. Really sealed off the defense quite well and gave Spear a nice little running lane over there.
1st and 10 from the 43. Allman takes the takes the snap, hands it off to Spear for a 2-yard gain right up the middle this time, down to the 41.
I tell you, Grayson Howell is keeping me on my toes trying to predict what's going to happen, because it looked with the first play of the game, or first play of the half, like he was just going to be slinging it. Now they're just kind of methodically running down the field, so really keeping a balance on the offense.
2nd down and 8 from the 41 on the left hash. Allman takes the snap, takes the handoff, fires over the middle, but it's off the hands of Mello Mattress. Great read to pull it and throw it by Allman. Great timing, great accuracy on the pass, but Mello Mattress just unable to haul it in.
I think Mello might have seen that if he could somehow get by his one defender, that he had nothing but green grass in front of him.
But to say that one might have been going to the crib.
Yeah, might have taken his eyes off that one just a little bit before he tucked it away.
Brings up 3rd and 8 from the 41. Might be 4-down territory for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, but now Sam Jennings motioning left to right. He'll settle in the slot. No illegal shift this time. Allman hands it off on an outside zone to Spear. Flag flies in the area of holding. Spear nowhere close to the line to gain, just gains a yard. It is holding against Pendleton.
It's going to make the Walhalla coaching staff make a decision here. Do they want to back them up? Make a possible 4th down conversion even harder if they were to head in that direction. So do they want a 4th and 7, 4th and 8, or do they want to back them up and make it 3rd and 18?
Still waiting for the decision. They will decline the penalty. Take the results of the play. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 40-yard line. Line to gain is the 33.
That's a little bit surprising to me, Samuel. I would have thought, given that it's pretty obvious 4th down territory here, I think I would have backed him up. Make him get 18 yards in 2 plays, but here we go, 4th and 8.
Dyer showing faith in his defense to get off the field on 4th and 7. Allman goes with the hard count, does not get any Razorbacks to jump this time. 13 seconds on the play clock. Allman making some checks with the offensive line. Mattress will come in a little bit tighter into the formation. Allman takes a snap, takes the handoff, pressured immediately, loops a screen pass over the head and incomplete. Looking for Brace Spear. Spear probably would have had the blockers and enough green grass in front of him to get the 1st down and much more. With the pressure in Allman's face, a little bit too high for the running back on the screen. Walhalla's defense stands strong and gets the stop.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect call for what happened, but more of that same the same pattern that we've seen earlier in the game, that when Walhalla is kind of back against the wall and needs to do something on defense, they're going to send pressure, send a blitz, and they did that, and it worked on that one.
Caleb Johnson takes a snap, fires on a screen pass, incomplete. Toward the near sideline, looking for his running back, Essian Nathan. Sort of just a swing pass look that clanked off of Nathan's hands. That brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Nathan would have had an easy 3 or 4 yards.
Don't fall asleep on me over there, man.
Trying. Getting old.
Bulldogs on top 14-0 with 8:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter of action in their region opener on the road here at Walhalla. Walhalla with the ball, 2nd down and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Johnson, the quarterback, takes the snap, throws it right into the hands of Pendleton defender Bradley Runyon, but he can't come up with the football. It falls incomplete.
I think that might have been the 2nd play this half where a Pendleton Bulldog was looking at the green grass in front of him. That would almost certainly have been a pick 6.
And to be fair, I think it was a little bit behind him, and he probably wasn't expecting the football to come right to him, but definitely should have been an interception for Runyon. We've seen him with a few takeaways this season, fumble recoveries and interceptions, but unable to capitalize there. 3rd and 10 for the Razorbacks. Johnson looking to throw, completes it to his tight end. Number 7, that's Dylan Cobb. But a nice job by the Pendleton defense, not allowing anything after the catch. 6-yard gain on the play by Cobb. Brings up 4th and 4, and a decision time now for Walhalla.
Yeah, nice job by Harrison Whitner again, covering some ground. Looked to be in zone coverage, but came up nicely once that ball was dumped off in front of him.
4th down and 4, the offense still out there. Johnson goes with the hard count to try to get Pendleton to jump. They do not. Looks over to the sideline for direction from his head coach. 10 seconds on the play clock, makes some checks. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Johnson takes the snap, hands it off right up the middle to Nathan. Nathan looking to get to the 49 and does not. He's going to come up 3 yards short, actually 2 yards short. He made it to the Walhalla 49, but the line to gain was the Pendleton 49. And so the Pendleton defense stands strong.
In a way, I think the play call worked because I think it did kind of catch the defense off guard that they ran.
I thought he was going to get it initially.
They ran a running play. It did look like he was going to get it, but I didn't see who came up and made the tackle, but they covered ground, and they came and shut that down pretty quickly. Nice defensive play there.
Pendleton takes over in Walhalla territory at the 49-yard line with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Allman takes a snap, takes the handoff to Spear, and that was not the correct decision. Walhalla was keyed in on the quarterback on the option there, and he is brought down for a loss of 2. Make it 2nd and 12, now back in their own territory at the 49.
I wish I had a monitor to go back and watch some of these plays again. I don't know if Walhalla is sending more defenders than there are blockers, or if the Pendleton offensive line is just not doing a great job of blocking right now. But either way, there are Razorbacks in the backfield way too often right now.
2nd and 12 from their own 49 for the Bulldogs. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Allman takes a snap, fires quickly over the middle, complete to Mattress. Mattress makes the guy miss at the 40. He's across the 35, the 30. One man to beat, and he does, into the end zone for the Pendleton touchdown. Nice run after the catch for a 51-yard touchdown by Mello Mattress, his 2nd of the game.
Looked to me like Walhalla sent one of their linebackers in on a blitz, and that was about the area of the field that Mello Mattress ended up catching that ball. His defender was not going to catch up with him. Nice play design, nice execution, nice 6 points on the board for the Bulldogs.
So a quick drive only took 1 minute and 22 seconds. As Sprayberry's extra point is good, extends the Pendleton lead to 21-0. Great play by Mattress there, especially when you think about a couple plays prior when he dropped the RPO slant over the middle, rebounds nicely on a similar concept, and takes it the distance.
Nice drive there. Nice, great job not giving up yardage once they had the turnover on downs. You said, Samuel, that he got the extra point. I never actually saw the officials call anything on that one, and they didn't put the point on the board yet. So I don't know if they called that no good. There literally was no signal. Now they're finally putting the point on the board.
I was about to say, I saw the official on the far side under the left upright put his hands up, but I never saw anything from the official on the right.
Yeah, I was looking at the near official. You were looking at the far, and I knew there was no sign from the near official, and I guess that confused the scoreboard operator as well. But the point finally went on the board. 21-0, Pendleton over Walhalla. 6:01 remaining in the third quarter.
A great drive, and the first touchdown drive led by Jackson Allman since his injury against Keenan. So good to see he and the offense get on the board. Brody Sprayberry on to kick it away. Back deep to return are Riker Dean and Nick Butler. Kick's going to be fielded by Riker Dean at the 16-yard line. He gets across the 20, reverses course of the 25. Going to be tackled right around the 30-yard line. They'll give him the 31. That's where Walhalla will start its second drive of the third quarter.
Dean decided he was just going to try to run right over Wilson, but Wilson stood his ground quite nicely and put an end to that play.
Walhalla searching for answers on offense.
You know, Samuel, I think they found some answers on the first or second drive. I think that quick passing game that they really just haven't gone back to a whole lot since that drive. I would be very surprised if we don't see more of that here. Quick 2-3-step drops. If I remember correctly, I don't think they were in shotgun on that drive, but they are here.
First down and 10. Johnson rolling out to his left. Going to fire incomplete, short of his running back, Etienne Nathan.
It looked to me, going back to that drive in the first half, it looked to me like their quarterback, Caleb Johnson, was very comfortable with his, taking the ball from under center, taking a 2-3-step drop, getting it out quickly. I don't think he looks nearly as comfortable when he's throwing on the run. That he's been operating from the shotgun and then going into a pretty early roll on most of these pass plays, and I'm not sure that fits his style very well.
Seems like Walhalla's coaching staff has been a little bit frustrated with his throws. He's going to fire again, a receiver behind the defense, but it's too far out in front of the intended receiver, Aiden Patterson, who got behind Zy Collimore. If that throws on the money, that is a 69-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll say this. I played a little bit of quarterback in my day. I did not play it well, but rolling left and trying to hit a deep receiver, that's a tough play.
It seemed like he had time, though, to set his feet.
Yeah, but
just chose not to.
That's what I'm saying. If it were me, I would not be rolling him out because he does seem to rush things when he's on the run. I think he looks a lot better when he's just throwing from the pocket.
The third down and 10 from the 31 for Walhalla. Johnson drops back to pass again, this time high for his intended receiver, Aiden Patterson. So 3 plays, 3 incompletions, 3 targets to Aiden Patterson. Only 12 seconds comes off the clock there on that drive.
And that one was a little bit high, but I think even with that one you can see the difference. When he's in the pocket and he plants his feet, he just throws it with a lot more confidence and ability. If I'm the offensive staff here at Walhalla, I think you got to do everything you can do to keep him in the pocket, keep his back foot planted, let him throw with confidence quickly or down the field.
Dylan Cobb on the punt. He'll land at the Pendleton 45-yard line and roll down to the 32. So that's where Pendleton will have it, first and 10 with 5:31 remaining in the third quarter. I'd like to take this time to thank all of our sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza of Sandy Springs, Empire Homes, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck, Wes Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Black Tie of Anderson, Foothills Community Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, Ken Rowland State Farm, Mac.Bid, and Absolute Law Firm. Of course, all under our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse. Thank you so much to all of our great sponsors. Now first and 10 for Pendleton. Allman fakes the handoff, rolls out to his left. Nice timing play. Connects with Sam Jennings for a 13-yard gain through the air. A first down. Flag on the play on the near side, however. Ineligible man downfield against the Bulldogs.
It's a great time for us to return to one of those sponsors. I got a question for you, Samuel. So now that the weather is turning a little bit colder, and it certainly will do so even more in the weeks to come, I wonder if that Gettin' Chili ice cream truck ever turns into a Gettin' Ice Cream chili truck when we get into the colder months of winter.
As in, like, bean chili?
Yeah.
Yeah, either that or some hot cocoa. Might be a good secondary business venture.
That's right.
Might need to hit the guys up at Gettin' Chili.
That's right.
First and 15 after the penalty for Pendleton. Allman takes the snap, fires on a bubble screen to Sam Jennings. Jennings showing some burst after the catch. He's going to get all the penalty yardage back plus 6 yards to bring up 3rd and 4.
I think most of that was for you, Samuel. He's trying to convince you that he is an NFL scout over there. Nice little burst after the reception, making his way to the sideline. This is only my second time see in Pendleton this year, but I'm pretty impressed with Sam Jennings. Really hard-working player out there.
Second down play, Allman takes a snap, rolls out to his right, gets a block from Deshaun Jenkins, and fires complete yet again to Sam Jennings. Jennings trying to prove his haters wrong. Another catch on the drive gets the Bulldogs to the 50.
Well, and the other thing that we're seeing out there is we're seeing a difference when you have a quarterback who can throw it on the run and put it where he wants to put it. Two really good throws on the run by Jackson Allman there, kind of hitting his receiver right where he wanted the ball.
1st and 10 from the 50 now for the Bulldogs. Allman looking over to the sideline to get the play. 10 seconds on the play clock. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Deshaun Jenkins in the backfield. 2 seconds on the play clock. They are probably not going to get this snap off, and they do not. Delay of game against the Bulldogs. Bring up 1st and 15 from their own 45.
That's not what you want when you've been moving the ball pretty well the first 2 plays of this drive, but you also don't want to make any stupid mistakes because you're not sure of what you want to do. So back it up, and now we have 4 plays to get 15 instead of 10.
Shotgun toss off the left side to Jenkins on 1st and 15, and nothing doing. As a great pursuit by two-way player Aiden Patterson coming over from his defensive back position to chase down Jenkins.
Yeah, Pendleton's kind of moving in the wrong direction right now. Got to get this sorted out quickly.
I think there's a flag on the far sideline right under the down marker.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a horse collar or
the face mask.
Face mask, yeah.
So a great play by Patterson, but he gets his hand up in the face mask of Jenkins, so that negates the great play that he makes. And brings up 1st and 10 now from the Razorbacks' 40-yard line.
Yeah, it got to be really hard for a defender if you're there to make a play. Just by instinct, you're going to grab whatever you have to grab to make the tackle.
1st and 10 from the left hash at the 40. Allman fakes the handoff, fires on that RPO concept, this time high for Landon McMillan. On what looks like a slant route across the 30-yard line, so it brings up 2nd and 10.
Allman looks like he's still knocking off a little bit of the rust. He's made some nice throws. He's had some that he really wanted back a little bit. That was one that he didn't put the ball where he wanted it for McMillan.
2nd and 10 now from the 40. Allman takes a snap, fires quickly to Mello Mattress on a screen right behind the line of scrimmage, and no blockers out in front. Mattress is going to be brought down right there at the line of scrimmage.
Looks to me like they're right back in 4-down territory. Got 3rd and 10. You don't need to pick up 10 here on this play. Make sure you get, 5, 8 yards, something in that realm, so you can have the entire playbook at your disposal on 4th down.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Pendleton. Allman takes a snap, has some time to throw, fires high for Mello Mattress, who almost got up there to bring it in. Showed off some leaping abilities, but not able to get quite high enough to bring that one down.
Yeah, that was a situation that I think Allman, if he had it back to do it again, I think he'd like to plant his back foot a little bit more and get his weight going forward. I think he maybe anticipated a little bit of pressure that never came. Seemed to be throwing that off his back foot, maybe falling away a little bit, which led to the high throw.
Offense stays out there on 4th and 10 from the Walhalla 40. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Jenkins in the backfield with Allman. Allman takes a snap, has time, fires on an out route complete to Mello Mattress for the 1st down. That's a 28-yard line for a 12-yard gain.
Really good communication, I guess you would say, between the quarterback and the wide receiver right there. Looked to me like if Mello Mattress wanted to beat his man deep on that play, he had him, but somehow he and Allman were on the same page to do a stop route and just pick up the 1st down.
Bulldogs quickly to the line, will hand it off to Deshaun Jenkins. He will find some room off the left side of the offensive line before being shoved out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So gain of 3 on the play. Gain of 2, rather, excuse me. Brings up 2nd and 8. Same formation for the Bulldogs here on 2nd and 8. 6 in the box for Walhalla. Allman with that RPO concept finds Ty Miller over the middle. He breaks the tackle and waltzes into the end zone for the Bulldogs touchdown. Shook off the tackle of Dylan Cobb at the 7-yard line. And from there, all he had to do was keep his feet and walk right into the end zone.
Yeah, nice recognition there by Allman. Put the ball where it had to be. Not exactly a perfect pass because I think it was slightly behind the receiver, but Miller did a great job of kind of shaking off a shoestring tackle and then making his way into the end zone.
Brody Sprayberry's extra point is good to bring the score. Pendleton 28, Walhalla 0 in tonight's region opener for the Bulldogs, who are looking to move to 4-3 overall this season after a 1-3 start, seeking their 3rd consecutive win. Add a touchdown to their lead on an 8-play, 68-yard drive that finished with a 26-yard touchdown through the air from Jackson Allman to the tight end Ty Miller. Great drive for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, nice comeback there. Kind of a stop and go for a while here in the third quarter where both teams were kind of struggling to move the ball. But that stop and go is bookended by 2 different Pendleton touchdowns. So they stretched the lead to 28-0 here in the third quarter. Samuel, I'm not normally a part of the broadcast, so I know that most people with the team would not want to do this, but I do want to ask. I'm curious, does BHP come to Pendleton this year, or does Pendleton go there? You know?
I am pretty sure that, yes, Pendleton goes to BHP this year, hosted them last year.
Well, that's clearly going to be a pretty important game. Maybe you hope that Allman will be, firing on all cylinders by the time they make that trip. Kick is received by Riker Dean, who makes his way.
Pendleton thinks they have it.
Makes his way up the middle of the field. He does, in fact, fumble before he goes to the turf, and Pendleton recovers the fumble. They're going to have outstanding field position on about the 32-yard line, looking to just go ahead and salt this game away if they can pack in a 5th score here to go up 35-0.
They're going to have the ball at their own at the Walhalla 32-yard line. I was looking down to see BHP's result in their first region game. That was a 63-0 victory over West Oak, so you can't garner too much about the talent of their team this season from that result. We will get to that when it is time. Another 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs unexpectedly. Allman's going to fire down the right sideline, the near sideline from our vantage point, but it's high for Mellow Mattress and incomplete.
Walhalla continues to get a lot of pressure on Allman, even though he was able to get that ball away. I think he took a hit at the end of the play. Sure, he would like for his linemen to give him a little bit cleaner pocket to work with.
Back to the line for 2nd down. 2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line. This time a quick screen out to Jennings. Jennings, one man to beat before he gets to the sideline. He does so to get the 1st down before being angled out of bounds by the safety inside the 15-yard line. So Jennings, we don't have official stats right in front of us, but he is racking up both the yards and the receptions tonight. Would be a great PPR fantasy pickup if there was high school fantasy football.
Absolutely. The Pendleton High School version of Hunter Renfro from what I'm seeing tonight.
That brings up 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Walhalla 14. Allman fires quickly to the left side this time to McMillan on a screen, complete. Walhalla defender Dylan Cobb makes the tackle and his helmet flies off for the 2nd time tonight. The number 9, James Leslie, will come in for a play in his relief. Also checking into the game is number 58, Isaiah Pelfrey, for number 62, Xavion Heyman. Second and 7 from the 11-yard line now for Pendleton. Allman takes the low snap, stays on his feet somehow, fires for the end zone, Ty Miller, and couldn't quite make the connection. There is a flag on the near sideline in the area of Mellow Mattress and his defender. Kind of a busted play in which Ty Miller went up the seam. Allman kind of tried to put it over his shoulder for the touchdown, but Miller unable to haul it in.
You got 2 penalties on Pendleton. You got an ineligible receiver downfield, and you also have an offensive pass interference. So in that particular instance, Walhalla has to pick one of those, right?
They're going to accept the offensive pass interference, and that'll back Pendleton up, I believe, 15 yards in high school.
Probably so. If so, that's going to sting.
Marking it off from the 16-yard line.
There's a pretty major difference between 2nd and 10 from the 14 and 2nd and 25 from...
Going to mark the down at the... They're going to mark the football at the 26, I believe, and the line to gain is the 5. So it'll be 2nd and 21.
The down marker will catch up with them eventually. Oh, I guess, yeah, I'm confused where they're putting the ball.
Right now the ball's on the 26. I'm going to go with 2nd and 21. Pendleton from the left hash, moving from our left to right. Allman takes a snap, looking to fire. They fake the screen, and wide open down the far sideline is Sam Jennings, and he literally walks in for the 26-yard touchdown. They set that up so perfectly. They've been running that quick screen to McMillan or whoever the outside receiver has been. So immediately when Allman pump faked toward the near sideline, both Pendleton DBs bit, and wide open was Sam Jennings. Easiest throw of the night for Allman.
Yeah, I think that term wide open is sometimes overused, but that was not one of the instances. I don't know that there was a defender within 15 yards of him.
But just 52 seconds after their last touchdown, Pendleton adds another. This one being a 26-yard touchdown through the air from Jackson Allman to Sam Jennings. Brody Sprayberry's extra point is good. That puts Pendleton ahead 35-0 with 2:50 remaining in the third quarter. Take a quick break. Hear from some of our sponsors. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldogs football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they're recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Sam Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow back with you here from Razorback Field at Walhalla High School. First region game for the Bulldogs. They lead 35-0 with 2:50 remaining in the third quarter. Brody Sprayberry's kick is away and it is fielded by Riker Dean, the 17-yard line. Good return by Dean to the 31-yard line. That's where Walhalla will have it on their third possession of the third quarter.
Calhoun Mize was about the last one that had an opportunity to tackle Riker Dean before he made it back to the kicker. Fortunately for Pendleton, Mize was up to the task, brought Dean down at the 31-yard line. So that's where Walhalla will start their new drive, 2:42 remaining in the third quarter.
And they're actually going to start at the 46 because they add a face mask against the Bulldogs for 15 extra yards.
So I guess Calhoun Mize was up to the task of grabbing his face mask.
I guess so.
Pulling him down.
He'd rather have 15 yards than give up a touchdown.
Yeah, that's true. So. He had daylight in front of him after Mize.
Caleb Johnson takes a snap on first down, hands it off to Essie and Nathan. Nathan goes backwards about 7 yards And Pendleton's going to catch up to him. Bradley Runyon, Branson Wilson, Zy Collimore, and Jace Harrison-Widner all in on the stop. That's good team pursuit to the football. It's going to be a loss of 7 yards.
Yeah,
2nd and 17.
We had a perfect vantage point on that play, and when the running back, when Nathan started kind of going away from the line of scrimmage, we could tell from where we're standing that it was not going to end well for him.
Immediately behind the chains are the Razorbacks. Bulldogs showing pressure. They'll bring it. Evading the sack for a moment somehow is Johnson, but then, and then he breaks another sack, but then finally sacked by Dax Allen and number 40, Nate Wells. Another Bulldog in on the stop was Gavin Yeomans. The two back-to-back negative plays for the Razorbacks, a tackle for loss and a sack for the Bulldog defense.
I think Johnson broke about 4 tackles there.
Looking like it was Lenore Sellers out there.
Including one of his offensive linemen that he ran into, but then he finally ran into the Pendleton defenders that brought him down. But 3rd and a country mile for the Razorbacks.
Ball is at the 34-yard line. Line to gain is the Pendleton 44. So 3rd and 22. Quick throw to the left. Almost picked off by Jace Harrison-Widner. Looked like a miscommunication on an option route between Caleb Johnson and his intended receiver, Aiden Patterson. Lucky that one was not intercepted.
Yeah, Widner could have really added to the nice night he's having on defense if he would have been able to tuck that one away. It would have been a difficult catch. It wasn't one that was just thrown right at him, but he made a great break on the ball and couldn't quite bring it in, and now he goes back to receive the punt.
Punt team is on. Dylan Cobb punts it away, and it'll go out of bounds. Near side line judge walking to the spot. They will put it at the Pendleton 36-yard line with 1:01 remaining in the third quarter.
I just noticed looking at the roster that Jace Harrison-Widner is just a sophomore. I've been pretty impressed with him tonight. He's made a few really nice plays. He is one that I think the Bulldogs can build on for a couple more years. He might turn into a playmaker.
Yeah, you might also see him at receiver down the line once some of these older receivers in the room graduate.
Yep.
1st and 10 for Pendleton yet again. This time on 1st down, they hand it off to Spear up the middle for a 4-yard gain to the 40. Haven't seen Pendleton find as much success on the ground as I would have anticipated coming into the game. They've had no shortage of offensive production, though. The passing offense has been clicking on all cylinders since the first couple drives of the game.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's no desire to run Jackson Allman up the middle with recovering from a collarbone injury.
2nd down play is a screen complete to number 29. That is Landon Moody, junior wide receiver, and he's going to be tackled for a gain of about 1 yard on the play to bring up 3rd and 5.
Seeing some numbers out there right now that we don't normally see, at least early in the game. Matthew Cooper is out on the field, as well as Landon Moody, whose name he just called.
Pendleton will snap it one more time before the end of the third quarter. They hand it off up the middle to Spear. Spear gains a couple on the play. He'll be well short of the line to gain. So on the other side of the quarter break, it'll be 4th and 3 for the Bulldogs. For now, through 3, Bulldogs on top of the Razorbacks, 35-0 in their opening game of Region 1 3A play. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on Spirit Radio.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs! Sam Goodrow, Ryan Goodrow back with you here from Walhalla High School, Razorbacks Field, where the Bulldogs enjoy a 35-0 lead over the Razorbacks, hailing of Walhalla High School. The offense still out on the field for this 4th down and 3. Allman looking to get the defense to jump. They do not on the hard count. Looks over to the sideline to get the play call. Communicates it to his offensive line. 9 on the play clock. They do snap it. Hand it off up the middle to Spear. Spear plunges forward for a 1st down. Still on his feet at the 50-yard line. They'll actually give him the 49. More than enough for the 1st down. Some powerful running by Spear.
One thing I noticed on that one that I really like is that the offensive coaching staff didn't bring off the players that were on that drive just to get the 4th down conversion there. So leaving them in the game to do their job as they continue to learn, but fresh set of downs for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10 now from their own 49. Allman takes a snap, hands it off to Spear. Spear puts the spin move on one would-be tackler. Then he is brought down around the line of scrimmage by Dylan Cobb for a 2-yard loss.
Looked like he was possibly going to be able to get away from the defenders there. Made one of them miss, but couldn't quite make the second one miss. He probably would have had a good 8 or 9 yards more if he could have gotten away from that second defender.
2nd 11 now from the 48-yard line. Pendleton going with the hard count again. Almost got the defensive tackle, number 33, Andrew Cashin, the jump. He does not, however, though. 4 on the play clock. Allman takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll fire on a tight end slip screen. The Ty Miller complete across midfield to the 44-yard line in Walhalla territory. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 3 with an 8-yard gain.
That was a nice little catch by Miller. Not the easiest way to catch the ball as he's running away, looking over his left shoulder. Nice athletic play there.
Bulldogs looking to go quickly on 3rd and 3 and some movement. They go a little bit too quickly. Ball start will back them up and make it 3rd and 8.
One of the things that the Bulldogs definitely have in their arsenal is the variation in speed of how they carry out their offense. There are lots of drives where there's barely any time for commentary between plays, and then sometimes they'll just slow it way down and kind of milk the clock, and then now they're back to a quicker pace. So they definitely kind of vary things up. They kind of change things up in terms of speed.
Bulldogs leading 35-0. They have the ball on the Walhalla 49-yard line. 3rd down and 8. Walhalla bringing pressure. Firing over the middle for Ty Miller is Jackson Allman. A little bit behind him and incomplete. Tipped up in the air and thankfully not intercepted by Riker Dean, the defensive back in the area. That stops the clock with 10:20 remaining in the game, and Pendleton's punt unit will trot out. 6-play drive for the Bulldogs. Takes 2 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock. It ultimately is going to end in a punt. Sam Jennings on the punt. He also served as the punt returner for the Bulldogs. You don't see that combination too often in any level of football. Jennings' punt is away. It bounces to the 24-yard line and takes a nice Pendleton bounce down to the 15. The Walhalla will start its next possession at their own 15-yard line.
Well, probably not a game that Walhalla is going to be able to come back and win, but definitely an opportunity for them to get some offense going, see if they can find some rhythm, see if they can discover a few things that work for them that they can bring into their next contest. So certainly work to be done.
Looking ahead to next week, Walhalla will host Berea as it is their turn next week to play a non-region game. Pendleton will host West Oak in Cunningham Stadium next week. So stay tuned for that broadcast. That'll be myself and David Foley who will be back next week. 1st down run by Essien Nathan for Walhalla. He'll gain about 3 on the play and bring up 2nd and 7.
definitely miss hearing David on the call with you. You guys make a great pairing during the normal part of the season. Hope he's enjoying a great trip back home. Good fall break, but looking forward to having him back on the air next week.
Second down and 7 now from the 18 for Walhalla. Johnson takes a snap, rolls out to his right, fires well short of Nick Butler, his intended receiver. Kind of goes back to your point earlier. Caleb Johnson's been decently accurate when he's in rhythm and has his feet set in the pocket, but whenever you ask him to throw out of rhythm, rolling to either his left or his right, he's been pretty wildly inaccurate so far in this game.
Yeah, you just wonder if that's something he can get a little bit better at with a little bit more time, or if it's something they're going to have to not have as such a staple in their offense in the games to come.
3rd and 7 now from the 18 for Walhalla. Johnson takes a snap, fakes the handoff, fires on a screen play short yet again for Nick Butler. He had pressure in his face. Butler had a blocker in front, but not enough juice on the throw. So another 3 and out for the Walhalla offense with 9:24 remaining in the game.
I think for the future of the Walhalla offense, they're going to have to take into account the kinds of throws that Caleb seems to do well with, and those wide throws to the wide part of the field is just probably not what he's ready for.
Dylan Cobb's punt is nearly blocked. It'll be fielded by Jace Harrison-Widner at the 50. Widner tries to reverse the field, get a nice return, but he's going to end up going backwards 6 yards to the Pendleton 44-yard line.
Flag down the play. I believe that's going to be a late hit out of bounds.
A lot of hooting and hollering after the whistle over on the Pendleton sideline, and maybe some extracurricular activities, a shove or two by the Walhalla punt unit. It is going to be unnecessary roughness against the Razorbacks, so that'll give 15 yards to the Bulldogs. That should put the ball at the Walhalla 41-yard line. Let's see how good I am at my quick math here. I think that's right. 41-yard line.
There you go. Your math is a lot faster than mine, especially when the 50-yard line is involved and you go from building up to now counting down. It's way past me.
So 1st and 10 from the Walhalla 41 for the Bulldogs, who now have number 18, Grayson Wynn, in at quarterback. He'll hand it off on 1st down to Deshaun Jenkins, and Jenkins dunk play on 1st down on the ground. He'll gain just about enough to move the chains. I think they're going to mark him, or they will give him the 1st down. So a 10-yard gain for Deshaun Jenkins as he got to the edge on the far sideline right in front of his Pendleton teammates. Keeps those chains moving before getting out of bounds to stop the clock, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jenkins has made some pretty nice plays today. He must have heard that I liked Bray Spear a good bit, and he wanted me to make sure I didn't forget about him.
Jenkins gets the ball again on 2nd down, and a little bit against his style will run between the tackles for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Usually you see Jenkins more of the outside running back looking to get to the edge pretty much no matter what the situation, while Bray Spears, your typical between the tackles power running back. We like to call him thunder and lightning.
Yes.
A 2nd down and 8 for Pendleton now. Wynn takes the snap, hands it off to Jenkins yet again, and he's going to run it straight up the middle for a nice gain down to the Walhalla 24-yard line.
You could even say he thundered up the middle.
He did.
Bring him to a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, probably in 4th down territory, I would assume.
3 carries on this drive in 3 plays for Jenkins, 17 yards on those 3 carries. He'll get it again on 3rd down, spins out of a tackle in the backfield. He's going to get pretty close to the line to gain.
Yeah, it is going to be right there at the 1st down marker.
Here's a shaken-up Bulldog offensive player at the 23-yard line. I believe that's number 70-something. Don't want to speculate too much on who that is, but it's definitely Pendleton offensive lineman.
And they did, in fact, give him the first down on that one.
They put the football at the 21-yard line, so now 4 rushes for 20 yards on the drive for Jenkins. The injured Bulldog is number 70, correct?
Yes.
Number 70, Corday Chapman, the senior right tackle. Good to see him walking off the field, but it is with a little bit of help. He limps off toward the Pendleton sideline. 7:47 remaining in the game. Pendleton on top 35-0 with the football yet again. Grayson went in at quarterback, and now joining him in the backfield is Rod Greenlee. Don't think I've called his name yet this season, so good to see Rod get some playing time. Rod will take the handoff and burst up the middle before lowering his shoulder, delivering a blow to number 3, Riker Dean. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. Has enough for the first down on the 11-yard gain to set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, I think Greenlee is averaging about 10 yards a carry on the season. I'm not sure why he didn't get more playing time.
Timeout's going to be called by Walhalla to avoid a 12-men on the field penalty as the Bulldogs were getting quickly up to the line. We'll take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors for this 1st and goal with 7:06 to play. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on Spirit Radio.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
35-0 lead for the Bulldogs, and they're in Razorback territory yet again. 1st and goal from the 10. Grayson Wynn takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Rod Greenlee, and his yards per carry average will go way down as he is tackled for a 2-yard loss. Now averaging 4 yards per carry on the season.
It was fun while it lasted. He did run with some pop on that first one. Was able to get ahead of steam and caused some difficulty for the tackler.
It's actually a 4-yard. They're going to say 4-yard loss on the play. 2nd and goal from the 14. See if they trust Grayson Wynn to maybe air one out and get his first career passing touchdown. 2 receivers to each side for Wynn. He takes a snap, hands it off directly up the middle to Greenlee. Greenlee looking to get some of that yardage back. Throws a shoulder down at the 6-yard line where he's going to be tackled. Actually, was never tackled, but his forward progress was stopped at the 6. 8-yard gain brings up 3rd and goal from the 6.
I was going to try to do some quick math to see what his yards per carry is, but it's too late at night.
Gain of 10, loss of 4, gain of 8.
That's 14, so almost 5 yards
almost
per carry.
5, so 4.333 yards per carry. 3rd and goal from the 6 for the Pendleton offense, filled with a lot of reserves. I hand it off to Rod Greenlee again, and he will gain 3 yards on the play down to the Walhalla 3-yard line. 4th and goal from the 3 now. Likely see the Bulldogs go for this. Probably not going to get too creative. I'd anticipate a handoff up the middle to Greenlee. That is exactly what it's going to be, but Greenlee is tackled for a loss and a turnover on downs by Dylan Cobb.
Man, Dylan Cobb has been all over the field tonight. Punter, returner, middle linebacker, making big plays on offense and defense. I think he plays tight end as well, maybe. I guess he's the backup quarterback, according to the roster. He's doing a little bit of everything tonight.
Jack of all trades for this Razorback team. Been one of the more impressive players on the roster.
Sure has.
With 5:32 remaining and Pendleton leading 35-0, Walhalla takes over at its own 3-yard line. Essian Nathan gets the ball on first down. He will gain 9 yards. Bring up 2nd down and 1.
Like we have a lot of new players in on defense as well. So Coach Howell finding opportunities tonight to get a lot of his reserves in, put some things on film, let them learn from some experience out here.
2nd and 1. Taking the handoff is Johnson. He's going to fire deep down the field, but Chase Harrison Whitner intercepts the underthrown pass, looking for number 13, Nick Butler. Well underthrown pass, picked off by the sophomore defensive back.
Chase Harrison Whitner adding to his already impressive night. He's done quite a few things on the field tonight. Nice corner blitzes that led to some plays, nice coverage, punt returns. Now we have an interception to add.
So with 4:56 remaining in the game, Pendleton will start its 2nd consecutive drive from the Walhalla 41-yard line. Grayson Wynn back out there at quarterback. Takes a snap, hands it off up the middle to Rod Greenlee. Greenlee wrestled down by number 55, Edwin Chino. Senior offensive and defensive lineman for the Razorbacks blew up that play.
Got to be a little bit disappointing as a reserve wide receiver. You know you're not going to get in the game unless there's a little bit of a lead. But then if there's a little bit of a lead,
he's going to run the ball. Yeah, I'd like to see Grayson Wynn get a couple passing attempts here. But going to hand it off yet again on 2nd down to Rod Greenlee. Greenlee will gain a couple to the 38-yard line.
Maybe on
3rd and 7.
Maybe on 3rd and long we'll get a play here. Maybe a pass play on 3rd and long. We'll see. I'm drawing up Matthew Cooper on the side here, or maybe
Matthew Cooper in the game, Landon Moody in the game, Landon McMillan.
Maybe Landon Moody on a slant.
Top of the screen. Wynn takes a snap. He will hand it off to Rod Greenlee right up the middle. Greenlee will gain 3 to the 35 and bring up 4th and 4. Clock still moving inside 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 40 seconds away are the Bulldogs from advancing to 4-3 overall on the season and 1-0 in the region. Walhalla will drop to 0-7. If you would have told me the night of the loss to Woodmont that Pendleton would be 4-3 after the next 3 games, I would have taken it.
Yeah, I mean they've really come back strong. You know, even in the Woodmont game, in a game where it looked like Woodmont was in complete control, they sent it to overtime.
Greenlee picks up the 1st down on 4th and 4 to keep the chains moving and the clock moving. Pendleton's going to move to play West Oak next week. That's likely going to be another instance of outmatching the opponent. Another 1st down run for Greenlee's. Really expanding the sample size for his yards per carry average, although it goes down with every carry.
But circling back to West Oak for just a second, I don't think West Oak is exactly the West Oak that we've seen over the past 4 or 5 years. They're not. I don't think they're world beaters, but they're starting to figure things out over there.
We're only going to be tackled for loss on 2nd and 8. Loss of 3 will bring up 3rd and 11 with 2:27 to play. And the clock's still moving. Well, at the time, got to give a shout-out to the athletic facilities of Walhalla, especially the press box. We're in our own press box all the way to the right side, enclosed in a room, climate-controlled, got nice lighting. Very beautiful athletic campus here at Walhalla High School. 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs now from the left hash on the Walhalla 32. Wynn has some trouble with the snap, and he's just going to go down, tackled by number 62, Dennis Washer, one of the captains tonight, for a big loss.
Talking about the nice surroundings here. We got the purple tennis courts in the distance that we can see. lit up tonight. So I like the move of having the lights for the soccer field that we can see to our right, and lights on the tennis courts that we can see over to our left, and maybe even the lights on the softball field, although it's hard to make that one out.
You got softball and baseball fields also straight across from us. You can't quite see if those are lit up tonight.
I don't think they are.
Sam Jennings on the punt on 4th down. Going to bounce at the 18-yard line and take a nice Pendleton bounce and roll.
All right, so here's the question.
Inside the 5.
If you had a one-man band show between Sam Jennings and number 7, Dylan Cobb, I mean, two guys that do just about everything for their teams, that would be an entertaining contest if it was just one versus the other.
I've got to give the edge to Dylan Cobb. We've seen him make plays on defense, on offense, on special teams, kicking the ball, and making a tackle on special.
Yeah, he's pretty well-rounded and actually pretty good size, too.
All that Sam Jennings doesn't have in his bag is the defense.
Right.
And I think that might just be because not given the opportunity. So we might need to start lobbying for Sam Jennings to get some reps at DB.
That's right.
Option play on 1st down. Johnson pitches it out.
Sam Jennings on the tackle. No, just kidding.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It was not Sam Jennings on the tackle. I think that was number 40, Nate Wells, on the tackle. Maybe some assistance from other players, but he's the one that I noticed.
That should be the second to last play. We've got 9 seconds separating the game clock and the play clock. Pendleton is going to win by a score of 35-0, barring a disaster for Walhalla here or a very successful offensive play. Johnson will take the shotgun snap, fire it to number 13, complete. That is Nick Butler on the screen. It's going to be brought down inbounds, and that is going to be the ball game. 35-0 Bulldogs secure the victory on the road in region play over the Walhalla Razorbacks. Their 5 touchdowns were scored by Dax Allen when he was still in at quarterback on a 7-yard rushing touchdown. A 46-yard touchdown through the air between Dax Allen and Mellow Mattress to make it 14-0, which was the score at halftime. Then Jackson Allman was inserted at quarterback and threw a 51-yard touchdown to Mellow Mattress to make it 21-0. One drive later for the Bulldogs, a 26-yard touchdown through the air from Jackson Allman to Ty Miller made it 28-0. Then a muffed kickoff recovered by the Bulldogs set up a 26-yard touchdown between Jackson Allman and a wide-open Sam Jennings. Ryan, any closing thoughts from the resounding victory on the road for the Bulldogs?
I like the way that the Bulldogs are continuing to build on this season. I think you especially got to feel good about getting Jackson Allman back into the lineup. That looks like it's going to open up an entirely different dimension to the offense, not to mention the nice part about having Dax Allen back on the defense, which I think would make a tremendous difference on that side. So I think you got to feel good moving forward if you're the Pendleton Bulldogs.
Absolutely. The Bulldogs moved to 4-3 on the season overall and 1-0 in Region 1 of 3A. We'll be back for a broadcast of Pendleton Bulldog football a week from today. David Poley and I will bring you Pendleton versus West Oak from the friendly confines of Cunningham Stadium. Hope to see you at the field if you can make it. If not, be sure to tune in to 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. But tonight, from Razorback Field at Walhalla High School, Pendleton 35, Walhalla nothing. That's going to do it for this broadcast of Pendleton football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse. For Ryan Goodrow, for Jeannie Burris back at the studio, I'm Samuel Goodrow saying God bless and go Bulldogs.